Greetings and welcome to the One Six Scale Man proudly presents Comic Book Talk with Friends. It's LR, Leo Rockwell, all day, every day. Come on, man. I'm so happy to have everybody here. It's a special pre-day. This is basically Black History Month Eve. That's what I want to actually call it. So I just decided that, tonight we're going to kind of kick it off, the festivities on the eve of Black History Month, and just, talk about a couple things just to kind of prepare, because this is what we're going to be going through almost the entire month of, February for Black History, is to talk about Black superheroes who have actually influenced comics. So this is where we're basically going to go. I'm so happy to have everybody here. Those who decided to show up and be a part of it, you're all welcome. And again, like I said, this is not a show that's going to separate everybody. We're trying to bring everybody together, but also give you a history lesson, so you're actually familiar with those who have influenced comics, whether it's writers, artists, the heroes themselves. It's going to be a great show. So glad to have you here. So I'm going to bring on the panel because, like I said, this is interesting. I'm happy to actually touch on this topic. What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So good to have you here. Vinny, what's going on with you, brother?
Chilling, man. Just enjoying the week. I've been doing a lot of reading this week, and I had a threat of snow. Didn't have to go out, so I've been able to just catch up on some R&R. Been doing some catching up on some art. I have a new Star Wars piece that I'm gonna put out tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
And been just catching up on reading. I'm blazing through Justice League right now, so it's getting good.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, just chilling, man. Looking forward to getting into it tonight. Lots to discuss,
man. Thank you for basically being here. Before we jump to you, Jedi Kid, we got a $5 super chat by my guy, Malachi Mabane. Happy Black Superhero Day.
my man.
Yes, sir.
You already know what it is, man. Thank you for actually coming on, and it's definitely going to be a great discussion tonight. Jedi Kid, bro, what's going on with you, man? How was your day?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just getting through the day real quick. I'm trying to get back more into my Star Wars reading.
Yep.
I'm kind of fed up with DC right now with how the things are turning out. But I'm just trying to catch up with some books. I got this Darth Vader book. I'm trying to get through. I love it, man. I'll talk about it later on tonight. But it's a dope read, bro.
Definitely,
I'm just cooling out.
Hell, I mean, heck, so glad, man. Talk about it as long as you want.
Yes, sir. Anyway, yes, sir.
Real Raleigh, aka Mr. Butt Naked, aka Mud Butt McGee. What's going on with you, brother?
Well, I did have Cadoba, so should be okay. I think we're okay. But if I have to turn the camera off for a sec,
You said you think we're okay.
That's just, shit happens.
Literally.
Like literally,
you start
shit
hearing bubbles.
happens.
But, you know where it's coming from.
No, I've been just knee deep in my Marvel stuff right now, and I'm behind on DC, so that's next. But I'm just catching up on a lot of stuff in Marvel and keeping current on stuff. So the Devil's Reign has been great. I've been loving every second of that, especially what they've been doing to Elektra. That's been really cool. The Phoenix Song Echo miniseries has been really, really cool, exploring the kind of lore and expanding the lore of the Phoenix more, and how that kind of ties in with her family line. So that's been really cool. The Beyond storyline in Spider-Man right now, and dealing with Ben Reilly and the Beyond Corporation, that's been really, really cool. And then Tony Stark, getting the power cosmic in Iron Man, and kind of the rest of the Marvel universe not really being 100% okay with that, and kind of for obvious reasons for a guy like Tony Stark to get that. So seeing them all kind of come together on that has been really cool. And then they wrapped up the Death of Doctor Strange miniseries, which was great. And they kind of
I have to get the last two books.
I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it, but they kind of did something with it, which it's okay, I thought that's kind of what. And then at the last minute, they took a hard curve, and I was like, oh, all right, they're doing this thing that's going to play out for much longer than I had anticipated in a different way. but I like that they had the guts to do it. I think it's gonna make for some cool storytelling. So yeah, there's a lot that's like really really cool right now in
I got
Marvel
one question.
Comics. Yeah,
Did he come back at all?
I
Or
can't
did,
tell
did
you.
the sisters get him?
I can't tell you. I can't spoil it because
Oh,
you got to read it. It's like a 5
I
issue
need the
thing with
last
some
two
tie-ins.
books.
But I will say there's some
I
really
gotta get that.
good there's some really good storytelling in that, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to have an impact the on the Marvel Comics universe moving forward. And I will say that
It's a dope story.
both with this miniseries, the Death of Doctor Strange, and with the Devil's Reign event that's ongoing right now, Marvel has done a really good job of making me interested in all the one-shot tie-ins
They always do.
that's been off of them, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times those are like throwaway. It's like, all right, maybe that's a cool story, but it's not really. And I will say a perfect example of something that I think was interesting in and of itself, but actually laid the groundwork for some really cool storytelling that I think we're going to get in the next year or so in Marvel Comics, is the one-shot tie-in to Devil's Reign with the Winter Soldier. So get a chance, read the Devil's Reign Winter Soldier tie-in.
Okay, cool.
One issue that I think is basically gonna set the course for Bucky and what he's gonna be doing in Marvel Comics for a good while moving forward. And it was just really, really good storytelling. So they've been doing a really good job with these one shots
Yeah.
in these different events, and actually making them not feel like just kind of throwaway, but making them feel like they've got more substance to them, and that they're actually going to be impacting the stories that we're going to get with a lot of these characters beyond those individual events. So
Oh,
I think they've
man.
been really, really firing on all cylinders on that front.
That's dope.
And the Devil's Reign so far. I mean,
I love it.
it's the art of telling a story with a character that is getting. I think as a villain, this is the ultimate getting his just due. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is just like seeing him in a place, and then on. There's so much that there's so many undertones in this series right now that you can say certain things that will spoil it, and I don't want to. But for anybody out there who wants a good read, and if you never knew how smart this man is, like how intelligent the Kingpin is, like
President Fisk.
literally how
President
he
Fisk.
aligns everything to work in his favor, it'll piss you off, but it's intelligent.
And how he gets these
Yeah.
other crazy powerful villains
Yeah.
to do his bidding, to
That's why it's Kingpin, bro.
for him,
Yeah.
because he knows how to pull all of these strings, and he's such
Yeah.
a complex character. He's such a cool character, and his dynamic and the thing that sets this whole event off with him and Daredevil, which this part's not really a spoiler. It's basically just kind of the thing that kind of the catalyst for everything. Just like Spider-Man has done, just like recently in No Way Home, characters in comics have had their secret identities revealed at various points, and then done some magic or whatever to try and reverse that, and so
Yeah.
that they have a secret identity once again, instead of just everybody knowing. And basically, Daredevil did something to reverse everybody's knowledge of his identity, and Kingpin realizes that realizes that Daredevil has done something to his brain, and that he used to know who Daredevil was, and now he doesn't, and it's pissing him off because he had like
Yeah.
a file that he was keeping on. He had files that he was keeping on every villain, every hero, everybody in Marvel, and then he opens up the file that he has on Daredevil, and the pages are all blank because he can't because of the mojo that was worked, he can't
Yeah.
read
Yeah.
it. It's just blank. Nobody can see anything on these pages.
Yeah.
And it just sets him off. And the whole thing that he's going after, all Cap and Iron Man, all of these superheroes, the entire thing that he's doing is because he's fucking rip shit at Daredevil for messing with his head. And so that's how this whole thing
Spun
jumps
out of
off.
control.
And
Yeah.
and what transpires and how it goes from there is just, it's brilliant storytelling, it's brilliant writing, and it's not like every issue is this like massive kind of like,
Conflict and stuff like that,
huge
yeah.
battles and stuff. It's not about that. It's about the psychology of the Kingpin and how he is taking it as one man, as the mayor of New York City, taking it to all of these superheroes in different diabolical ways. And he's really got them back on their heels. He's got them in a tough spot. And I mean, and if you think that it's a coincidence that this event is happening right now in Marvel, right as Kingpin was reintroduced to us on TV in the MCU, proper for the first time with Vincent D'Onofrio. If you think that's a coincidence, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, it's all lining up.
Marvel is
They're doing it the smart way, bro.
just like they hit the mute button on the X-Men and the Fantastic Four when Fox was, holding those movie rights hostage.
Turning the volume up.
They also turn the volume up on characters in the comics when they've got plans for them on
In the
screen.
MCU.
And that's what we're seeing right now. Same
Hell
thing.
yeah.
That's why you've got Kingpin and Daredevil front and center when you've got, those two making a reappearance in TV. And that's why I'm also very hopeful and think that we could see some Elektra action coming up too on screen as well.
So real
it's
quick.
just a
Oh,
good
I
time.
hope so.
It's a
I hope
good
the
time.
same one from Netflix, bro.
Yeah, it is. I'm doing a deep dive in everything on. So I literally canceled everything, clients, everything on Thursday. I'm taking the day off just to kind of deep dive in things that I missed. Yeah, that's mainly my focus. Before we actually jump in, and before I actually address the chat real quick, I wanted to mention something. Considering that Vinny's still a virgin to this, I wanted to kind of mention the simple fact that
Jason Todd.
well, not just Jason Todd did. Number one, we finally got that. We finally will have the classic suit Spidey releasing on the 7th. So I'm super happy about that. As soon as I saw that as I saw that notification, I was super hyped, bro.
I have to check my email, bro.
Yeah, you gotta check it. So so I got it. I got my notification. So yeah, it's coming. And then that Jason Todd that we actually had a chance to see.
I made a custom one, but that Jason Todd is like the one from Titans. I gotta get I had to add that one too.
Well, because it's the same sculpt, but yeah, they did, and they didn't wait too long. There's a couple weeks in between
Robin and
or
Todd
announcing the Robin version of Jason Todd from Titans, and then the Red Hood. Man, that Red Hood looks the
hood and the sculpt is stupit crazy, bro.
It's dumb crazy, and they don't shy away from weaponry, bro. They
show it all,
everything,
dude.
bro.
But he got like 4 guns and the duffel bag
and knives. He got everything, bro. They are not shying away from that.
Yeah, they got that one off.
That's a solid release, and it's.
Come on, Vinny, come on, bro. Pull the trigger.
We'll see the timing. Hopefully they can stick to that window because they do have delays here and there. Like I think the Batwoman one was supposed to have already come out. That hasn't come out.
I'll pass.
Their goal is I think it said July to September.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For the release. So,
for the Tide,
that's early though for a figure release, bro. They doing it.
Yeah, we're looking
I love
at like 5-6
dog.
months. That's typically So Toys MO. They try and usually whenever they announce the window is about 5-6 months out. I think probably maybe 70% of the time they hit that.
They try to please the clients, man.
But even if they don't hit it, it's not like it's not like a year long. Like it's not pushed back by a year like a lot of Hot Toys. It'll be like maybe a couple of months, but
Yeah.
it's rare that if So Toys puts something up for pre-order that you don't have it within less than a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you'll definitely get it. So let me address the chat real quick, and then we're going to actually go to Vinny. I think you got some suggestions for us this week again.
Yeah, I got
You got a couple of them. So, yeah, we'll go actually address the chat real quick. We got my guy, Malachi Mabane, 1/6 scale man, Wilson Fisk. War on superheroes is like Mayor Rudolph Giuliani in 70s week. You're right.
That's
You are definitely
funny
right
as
about
hell.
that. You are definitely on
What
point
an
about that.
analogy, bro. Oh
I
my
dig
God.
that. I got to take a Photoshop of that one.
That's a good one.
We got Philip the Fool in the building. Loco Lou. I thought Michael Clark Duncan was a very intimidating Kingpin.
He
He's my
was.
favorite to date, but Vincent D'Onofrio was very good in the Daredevil Netflix series.
Yeah,
Definitely he was.
yeah.
We got,
Yeah.
let's see here, with Vinny in the building. We got Loco Lou, my guy Loco Lou. You already know what it is, man. Figure Flex Friday. What's up, man? We got, let me see who else. We got my baby Latoya T in the building.
So,
Hey,
Toya.
baby.
Hey,
We
hey.
got Iron Logan is in the building. What's going on, buddy? He actually says up here, he said, hey, guys, loving listening to my favorite show while working. Oh, man, thank you, bro. So
That's
glad
it.
to have you
We
here.
appreciate
We
you.
got Max Geekdom. We got the Ben Cave in the building.
Max Geekdom.
We got, let me see here, Max's Toy Box is here, as always. Loco Lou. We got Filthy Yoda. I love that name, Filthy Yoda.
That is
What's up, y'all?
Look at Yoda with the you got a chain on? Oh, that's dope.
Stopping by to show love. I love catching. I'll have to catch the replay tomorrow. Great topics. Oh, definitely, man. Catch it when you can. Luminar in the building. Thank you for being here, love.
So Luminar.
Yeah, that's Luminar
Luminar.
843. You know she's always there. Support. Let's see here. We got K Card in the building. My guy. Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, K? Let's see who else we have. Man, Philip the Fool, Spice Runner. We have Matt M is here. We have I Am Legend 0000 is in the building.
I like that one. I am Legend.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
dope.
see who else we actually have here. Ray C is here. Two Ferns is here. Primetime Reviews is in the building. Thank you for being here. To Kathri and Jonathan Estrada. Are you related to Eric Estrada?
Eric Estrada, Chips.
Yeah.
I don't know
Chips,
about
man.
that.
Come
You
on,
too
man. You
young.
know what time it is.
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada, let me know if you related to him, man. If you are.
Yeah, that used to be the show, bro. Wait, the little pull fight with the little string
Hell
that pull
yeah,
and they
bro.
run off. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Classic.
One Punch Man. What's up, JC? What's up, Peter Pacheco? Thank you. What's up, my guy? So, yes, Ashley Chase in the building. Thank you. What's up? Riley Reviews is in the building. Are you related to real Riley? Anyway, Riley Reviews is in the building. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, Trimble Dust is here. And my guy, the one and only SpongeBob Square Balls is in the building. Square Balls. Is in the building. So, thank you for basically being here, man. Love the name. Love the name. But yes, Vinny, you said you had some things that you wanted to actually share, some books that were at the top of your list. So without further ado,
Primarily, I just have one recommendation this week. I'm gonna try to limit it down to one this week, and that is I Am Batman.
Jax Fox.
Yeah, man, befitting for the kickoff to Black History Month. We have Earth 3 Future State Black Batman, man. We have Jace Fox, Lucius Fox's son.
Yeah,
and it adds a bunch of very interesting elements to Batman without like really getting super, quote unquote wokish. It doesn't feel forced or like that's the whole point of it is that he's black. He just happens to be for the most part in this book. And the jump of the first issue has a really interesting costume change to start with, because as anybody who knows anything about socio-political events would know, it might not be the best thing for this particular Batman to show his face like Mr. Bruce. So his face is completely covered, and so you don't know his ethnicity, which it's the oldest running like joke. What's Batman's superpowers? White privilege.
That's my figure.
So it's really, really interesting. there's a lot of great art from Oliver Copio, who's of course a Black French illustrator who's one of the just best in the business. And with a great story jumping off from Jonathan Ridley. Ridley is a Hollywood cat, so
Yeah.
he's known for writing 12 Years a Slave,
Yeah.
Red Tails. He wrote some old Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel Air episodes. He's produced Wanda Sykes show, barbershop TV show. Like he's been around. I always love it when the big wigs in Hollywood come and just play around and the comic book sandbox, because it always kind of gives a big polished feel that maybe people who've only written comic books can give it. So the story is amazing. I believe they're transitioning now, and he's soon to be leaving Gotham and going to New York City, which is a cool move. It's kind of like Nightwing going to Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
It's the first. If I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the first actual city that one of the big heroes have ever policed, if you will. Because everybody has their Star City and Central City, but
Metropolis.
Gotham, Metropolis, and like all these code names for New York or LA or Chicago, but never actually actual names. So this is the first, but of course it's not Earth One, so they're bending some rules there. But the writer's explanation for that is that he's just looking to get them into his own rogues gallery, his own problems and stuff like that. I love that he's a good fighter, but I think that where the strength of his character is so far is that he appears to be really smart. He has
tech savvy,
really tech savvy. He has AI helping him change and redesign suits to do different things depending on whatever the story of the issue needs. And so it's been it's only a few issues in, but it's very interesting to read so far. It's a cool different take on Batman, and we've seen a million takes on Batman, but this is a good one.
Yeah.
And then the thing is I had this conversation with my local comic book shop over at Comics Connection. We were talking about it, and he brought up, he was like, "Yo, I don't understand everybody's pushback on a simple fact that, I mean, if anybody would take the reins, if anybody would come up, it would be Lucius Fox's son. Like, why?"
It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfectly good sense, being that, even up, he grew up, basically watching Bruce and knowing Bruce. And, he grew, these things, it's like he grew up around this. He grew up with a very intelligent father.
Of all the ridiculously outlandish people in the Bat family of ways they came to be. I mean, what makes more sense? Lucius Fox, who in some stories, more than others, helps Batman design his tech growing
more
up
than
in that world,
Alfred
makes far more sense than a kid who just happens to be at a circus and his parents die. It makes more sense than someone actually being able to steal the hubcaps off a Batmobile. I mean, till then, I mean, other than Timothy Drake, he's to this point the Robin that I felt like most belongs or made sense becoming in that family. But there's a lot of other members of the Bat family that's kind of a reach of them being there in the first place. Jace Fox being in the family makes a great amount of sense. Also, don't forget when DC and when Marvel and Stan Lee fell out, and DC snatched up Stan Lee for a Just Imagine series. Stan Lee wrote how he would do the story for all the big guns at DC, from Superman to Justice League. And when he did a Batman story, he made him black.
Yep.
That's how he envisioned the character of what would be make sense in the stereo, atmosphere of how, what was the best way a hero would move around in the city and who would be most connected to it and know where to strike and what to look for and where to go. And it just made so much more sense to him to have him be, grow up in the city and be of that world, as opposed to someone who lives, 40 miles outside the city and coming into the, and who's so far removed from it. And that's one of the things the villains and Joker and people hold over Bruce's head all the time, is that he's not really in the trenches, and unless he is Batman, but when he's Bruce, he's fighting it from an odd angle. So this is a really cool take, and I'm just I'm in it. I'm just looking forward to seeing where they go from here.
And did they get rid of Batwing altogether? Because Batwing is still around. That's
No.
Lucius Fox's son too. The Batwing.
Oh, it's a different Earth, so that's
Different
you know
Earth.
what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the workaround for that. I mean,
Mhm.
I like Duke too, and regular Earth,
Yeah,
comics,
yeah,
like, and as
yeah.
the Signal, like he
The
works out
Signal.
too. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, the Bat family is huge. There's so many different
Versions,
ways.
bro. Yeah.
Of course, and if somebody mentioned in the comments, of course, Damon Wayne makes sense in it too. But as being an O-head, sometimes I forget about Damon Wayne. To me, just he's still a relatively new in my eyes. Like even though he's been around for a minute now. But of
His
course,
666 Batman is ridiculous.
yeah, of course, Damon Wayne makes sense too. Like Damon Wayne
Mhm.
obviously is but as far as non-related related, to
Mhm.
Bruce Wayne members, I think Jace Fox's inclusion to the Bat family, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, and like I said, that's a good segue into tonight's topic. Again, this is the eve of Black History Month. In case, and like I have to just bring that up and bring it to the focus so everybody can understand, pretty much where we're going with this. Tonight is basically dedicated to what we can actually see, and it's not only just highlighting the characters, but it's also highlighting, some of the individuals who have paved the way
Yeah.
for others to actually have a space,
Mhm.
to create, to be amongst and mentioned amongst, some of the actual greats. And there's a few. There's a few people. One person I actually want to bring up here again, and that's because a lot of people, who he basically deserves, homage paid, but it's a name that isn't ever always mentioned, and that you would probably never really know about when it comes to like just artistry and just literary, like literature, and adding substance to characters. One of, I would actually say, and here's it. I wanted to kind of bring this up so people can actually see it. Here, we have Matt Baker. Okay, now a lot of people really don't know about Matt Baker, but Matt Baker was actually one of the first Black illustrators to ever touch a Superman book. Like literally, he was one of the first African Americans to ever touch the pages of Superman. He moved over to Marvel. He basically touched Spider-Man. He actually was one of the ever mentioned artists who helped construct and design the Sinister Six, who came up with the original idea for the Sinister Six.
That's awesome.
Like literally, bro, like was one of like the first to ever do it. But it's just the simple fact that you won't hear half these names. You won't hear half these individuals because, like I said, we're always talking about just some of the known, who we know right now.
Mhm.
But we need to kind of deep dive into like some of these writers and artists who kind of paved the way for other artists to come. Other artists that Vinny, you were talking earlier. When we had the conversation, you were actually talking about one of I think you were talking about, if I'm not wrong, I think you mentioned like Reginald Hudlin. Did you mention him?
I was talking about Dwayne McDuffie, but
Dwayne
Reginald Hudlin's
McDuffie.
another.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Reginald Hudlin, another.
He's another one.
Yeah, he's another
He's in
writer.
there.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Reginald basically was one of the ones who, of course, touched Black Panther, Spider-Man.
Yep.
He also wrote and directed House Party, Boomerang.
Yep.
We're talking about people who've actually had hands in on. We got Christopher. And anybody now, if you don't know the name Christopher Priest,
Yep.
if a lot of people don't know his name, Christopher Priest is an amazing. He did an amazing run on Black Panther. He also did an amazing run on Jon Stewart's Green Lantern. So he's touched a lot. So he's basically been doing a lot for years. You have the great Ray Billingsley. He's actually had his hands on in a couple of things, but these are writers, people who really deserve to be at the forefront, and without them there are certain characters and certain ones that we wouldn't even see, you know what I mean. There wouldn't be like what's his name, Coates right now, who's basically
Coates? Yep.
yeah, T
T-Nisi
Coates
yeah.
right now, who basically is one of the main writers behind what is his name? Bad Robot.
No, J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. He's
Mhm.
basically the main writers behind J.J. Abrams' Superman. So you know what I mean? Like there's some things happening there. So he said, let's not forget Dennis Cohen. Exactly, Dennis Cohen and Larry
Cohen.
Strowman. Yes,
Brian
Exactly. Exactly.
Stelfreeze.
Static.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Brian
like
Founding
Stelfreeze
Fathers.
did Nubia. He
Yeah.
redid the Nubia.
Brian Stelfreeze.
Mm-hmm.
Damon Scott.
Vita Ayala. Exactly, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Damon Scott's one of my favorites too. He
Mhm.
was the first artist for Batgirl with the Cassandra Crane, and he had amazing like graffiti, like abstract style. And
Mhm.
I remember every con we used to go to in Philly, I would stop and hang out with him like more than any other artist because he was just so fucking cool. He had such an incredibly unique style, and
Mhm.
to this day, like he's one of my favorite. Like he jumped over to Spectacular Spider-Man as well. I got some of his original art on the wall. He's the man. He's
Ron
so many
Wilson.
influential
Yeah.
artists. Yep.
Ron Wilson, who gave us Power Man. Come on,
Yeah,
man. You
Power
can't.
Man, yeah.
I mean, come
Stel-
on, man.
Stelfreeze, I'm on it because of how he redid Nubia, bro. Like, have you
Yeah.
seen the cover art for her recently,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
Like,
It's amazing.
her art is for Nubia is ridiculous, dog. Like,
Mhm.
what a take on that character and making it his own. Like, all his, it's just crazy, bro. I have the
Yeah.
first, I think, 5 issues of the new Nubia, man. Like, Stelfreeze is a beast,
Yeah, he's
Definitely.
young and hungry too. Like you can tell, he's just was
He
like, yo,
wants it, bro.
let
Yeah.
me at it. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we're seeing like a stretch here where, and the thing is, it's like here's the thing. It's like it's not all about we don't. I don't want to touch on this. I want to look at this from a positive light because it's not about just like a woke society and these artists have basically been around for years, have been around for a long time. It's just that like they haven't been mentioned as much. But they've given us some brilliant artistry,
Iconic characters,
iconic characters and stuff like that. Some of which we're talking about a time when the mention of bringing and that's what I'm saying. You got to give Stan Lee a lot of credit for allowing segue and allowing artists to come in, because to be quite honest, it was his push, Jack Kirby's push, to have inclusion that allowed some of these other divisions to kind of welcome that in. You know what I mean? So again, it's like just having that is it's so appreciated. To really see about to hear about. Vinny, what is something like your favorite runs right now, bro? Like if you actually thought about, because I want to get to Mudbutt in a second, but
Yeah.
well, Will Riley.
I'm
Hey yo,
bounce
if you
around
got to
all over
bounce,
the
bro,
place.
if you got to bounce, put up a sign that just says "shit happens."
I'm good so far.
That boy is. He quiet, like he holding on to that stomach for dear life.
You got them cheeks.
Hey,
He's
look, if
holding
you
on.
want, I'll turn the camera off, but I'll leave the mic on. You can hear.
Oh God.
But nah, Vinny, what was you saying, bro?
No, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. There's so many iconic runs. But this is all important because I mean these are this is an industry where creators like this had problems even getting their foot in the door, just like with sports, just like with business, just like with anything else. Like one of the back in the day there was all Negro comics, and you couldn't get them in a bookstore or magazine store. The very first black comic book was there was a Lobo about a Western gunslinger, and store shelves wouldn't take them. They didn't want them. And that was in 65. Now 65, you have to think about how you have stores like saying, no, we won't carry that comic at all.
Crazy,
and then you
bro.
have basically Stan and Jack Kirby and Marvel saying, Well, actually, let's see what happens for us, and then deciding to, go with the Black Panther very shortly
Mm-hmm.
after doing Sam Wilson for Falcon. That was huge back then. Nowadays, it's like it gets that label of, oh, you're trying to be, you know woke and having alternative motives and agendas, and that's
I can't deal
maybe
with
the
that, bro.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's the case in some ways, but back
Mm-hmm.
then it wasn't a selling point to get you an article in Newsweek or BuzzFeed to get you
Mhm.
hyped for your book, so that way people get interested and go pick it up. And
Mm-hmm.
back then it was rebellion. Back then it was absolutely rebellion, because those creators and those heroes weren't were suppressed. They weren't able to get their faces
Yeah.
in the bookstores, and it was a risk putting, black faces in a comic book, just like in a TV show, unless they were a stereotype making fun of black
Mhm.
people. So unless
Stanley
they
took a
had,
lot of chances, bro. You
yeah, unless
gotta
they had,
Yeah.
respect him.
unless they had, big lips and were
Mm-hmm.
had a funny
They're like
accent,
clowns, yeah.
you could exactly
Mm-hmm.
that was the only way
Mm-hmm.
it was happening back then. So
Mm-hmm.
they did a lot to change that narrative and make it something that was literally inclusive for a culture that was wanting to be represented just like everybody else wanted to be
Amen.
represented.
Yeah.
um so so fast forward to the 80s, and Dwayne McDuffie comes along, and he kind of like shakes everything up, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of great creators and writers at that point, but none with quite the resume and influence to Dwayne McDuffie, who, I mean, he did work on a lot of um, smaller Marvel and DC books, and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
then from his basically from his Hollywood accolades too, he he got Static Shock and Justice League Unlimited credits, and
Yeah.
he took all that
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood influence and kind of like muscled in on the comic book industry and started Milestone Comics. And
Mm-hmm.
Milestone Comics gave us amazing titles like Icon and Hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
those like Hardware is like one of my favorites. Those are amazing books.
Mm-hmm.
Icon, I mean,
I love
and
Icon, bro.
and and Icon was respected too. Like DC eventually bought Milestone, but even before they
Mm-hmm.
did, they had Superman going to a standstill with them to show the respect
Yep.
for that
Yep.
character,
Mm-hmm.
and that paved the way, a lot for those characters to be introduced, and then oddly, it kind of went away for a while, and then McDuffie
It's back
passed,
now.
and now it's back with a vengeance, and
Mm-hmm.
it's great. It's great to
Mm-hmm.
see, and it's created a lot of amazing stories along the way. There's new, those books have been re-released. There's now Icon and Rocket stories,
Yeah, Rocket,
and
yeah.
I mentioned a couple weeks ago that there's a new Hardwire book that's really really good. Um, but of course, there is like amazing Black Panther ones. There's like several. Virtually every time it's been rebooted over the years, there's been something to take away from those stories.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther is like just
My
incredible,
boy right
and
there.
set a lot of groundwork for what they've been doing with the
Mm-hmm.
film. So, and like I mentioned earlier, Damon Scott's back row is just crazy, because it. I'm drawing a blank on who was even the writer on that run, but the
Mm-hmm.
art itself told the story far and away better than the story itself told. Like his visual style was so impressive
Yeah.
that it told the story, and she was a mute at the beginning of her run, so most of her story was told through action and through the panels, and like there was a lot of near silent stories because of the way her skill set was. Like it was even before Echo came out.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of my favorites. There's obviously tons and tons and tons, but off the top of my head, those are some of the ones that stood out to me, and I'm glad that it's now not an anomaly to see black creators, black artists, black writers, and black superheroes getting some shine. There's still ways to go, and there's still we're still looking to get more, but there's definitely a dent that's been made in the industry that wasn't as prevalent back in the day.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
people have slept on how amazing Ta-Nehisi Coates' run
Yeah.
on Captain America was.
Yeah.
From
Oh, dude, I
2018
forgot
to
he did
21.
that.
32
Yeah.
episodes
Mm-hmm.
of some really hard-hitting storytelling
Oh
stuff.
man, yeah.
Of Cap going to prison,
Mm-hmm.
coming out. Some really interesting stuff with Sharon, with Peggy Carter, bringing them
Mm-hmm.
in. Some really, really good stuff with Zemo. Like, there's
Zemo,
like,
yeah.
if you've got time to kill, go back and the last from 2018 to like mid 2021, his run, 32 issues, and just starts at number one, so it's easy to find one straight through. There were 30, and then there were like two annuals that they
Mm-hmm.
did. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Alex Ross did all the cover art. It was beautiful, and the
Mm-hmm.
writing is just spectacular, which I think is great because anybody who is thinking, all right, well, yeah, he's gonna write well for like Black Panther. No, no, no. He's not. He's not good at writing black characters. He's just good at
At
writing.
Writing,
writing,
period.
period.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sentence ends there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he proved that because he wrote for those characters, and it did not. None of it felt strained. None of it. It was just natural. It was like you didn't have to know who, but if you were familiar with him, you could see his fingerprints on those books. It's just because he's that good of a writer, you could tell
Mm-hmm.
that was his writing. Um, but the fact that that's in my opinion, he's right up as far as really good Cap runs. He's right up there with Ed Brubaker as two of my favorites for what he
Easily.
did with
Yeah.
that character.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to go back and I mean just for your own enjoyment. I mean, those are really good books. That 2018 to 2021 run.
Yeah. And don't, Malachi, yo, we already, Kevin, that, Blue Marvel, come on, man. I mean, you
Yep.
already know that was going to come up.
That's my boy, bro.
That
Blue
was going to
Marvel
come
is
up. That was definitely going to come up.
2008 was the year.
Yeah, and here's the thing. A lot of people don't know about T Coats in general. Like, well, they know. People do know. I mean, and he's unapologetic about it. It's a simple fact that, I mean, alone from just not only just being such an incredible writer, being pegged to write, such great material, now, being helmed to basically write the next Superman for J.J. Abrams, for his trilogy, his film adaptation. He's also a major hip hop head, like day one. Like, you know what I mean? So, and a scholar and very intelligent, bro. And that's the thing is, it's like, you know what I mean? I think about it and it's like, yo, like he should have been writing a lot more feature films a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like literally because like you mentioned, that run with Cap, it was influential in the sense that number one, you got a chance to see a way a book was written. And we're talking about, how he instilled the knowledge behind things that would not, or people were afraid to really talk about.
Yeah.
And even that book got pushback. It did.
It did get a lot of pushback because it was very reflective of the world that we live in right now. There
Really
were
in real
themes
life.
in those books about kind of social media and echo chambers and like this like hateful sentiment building in that and then poisoning the rest of the world. Like there was so much in that was so salient, so relevant to the world that we live in right now. But I think that's also something that we're seeing, and I think T Coach he's a prime example of this. And this is a really good thing because writers like him, they're absolutely killing it on comic books, and more, just like we saw Matt Fraction being heavily involved in the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, we're gonna see more and more of the cream of the crop, the top level talent of comic book writers start to be more involved in the TV and the film side of these IPs. And the quality of what we're going to get is going to start to be elevated because you're going to have more involvement with people who are in on the ground floor and love these IPs, and not as much leaning on, oh well, you're a screenwriter in Hollywood, so take like this famous character like a Batman or Spider-Man and make a good movie out of it, all right? Because we can't have the comic book writers do that. it's flipping on its head now, and more love is being given to these guys, and they're being brought into the process more on the TV and the film side, and that's a good thing. Not only because it gives them opportunities financially and professionally and gives us better content on screen, but they're also really good writers coming up that want to get into comics. Maybe they see it as comics, and then I can bring those IPs over, and be a part of how they're represented on screen. But ultimately, people are starting to recognize the talent that it takes to be a good writer and a successful writer in comic books. And it's not just like, oh, you write for comics, you write, kids books or something. I'm a novelist over here. It's like, no. This is a art form, and it is difficult to write. You think about the powerful nature of a lot of those cat books we were just talking about with Ta-Nehisi Coates. All right, it is difficult to write that well, to work that symbiotically with an artist, to have a vision and then actually get that into 22, 24 pages.
Yeah.
When you have that's not 24 pages of a novel. Okay, that's 24 pages where you have maybe if you're lucky 100 words on a page, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to work with the visuals and your words, very minimal words, knowing exactly where to place them, how to work that out. It is a serious art form, and people don't give enough appreciation and respect to that, but they're starting to, because they're realizing that, man, the best stuff that we're getting is when we're taking like the cream of the crop writing from the comic books, and we're being as faithful as we can to that when we bring it to the screen. That's where you're getting the most success. And I think that's where people are going to start to recognize, okay, man, we need to have these writers involved more, and that's only going to attract more quality writers into the comic book realm too. So
I think a lot of creators have realized over the years that somehow at some point comic books have become a great little shortcut to getting their properties picked up, because what a producer looks at when they're reading a comic book is the storyboards and the script all at once, so they get to see the layouts and what the process will look like. And that's a shortcut through the whole process. And we've seen it from Mark Miller to Neil Gaiman to we're seeing a lot of creators that are working on indie books through Image or their own properties, knowing that these comics, before they even get a year into their run, will probably be picked up, because comic book genre is so booming and popular now that a lot of studios will grab up virtually any hot comic property, and whether they plan to option it or not, just because it's the likelihood, from Wanted to Boys and all these indie books where, I mean, Mark Miller could have took Wanted as a script to a studio, but he probably realized it was probably more likely to get picked up if you put it out as a comic. And if it didn't get picked up, great, it's still a comic. And then the producer is going to say, all right, we're probably not going to be able to go after, Spider-Man or Batman. All those are grabbed up. But when we pick up something like The Boys or Wanted or something, or The Walking Dead, these are independent comics that are hits that could make $400, $500, $600 million as well, because right now we're in a climate where if it's good, even superhero stories that aren't your Spider-Mans or your Supermans are making tons of money at the box office or on for networks and streaming services. So right now it's sort of like a shortcut. A lot of the big creators are like, well, hey, it's a whole to do to get a movie made the old way. Comic books are so hot right now. That's a shortcut. It's like putting a demo right in the producer's pocket, because they're looking for hot indie titles to pick up and just
it comes with a
bring
built-in
right to
fan
screen.
Base too. And
Built-in fan base.
There are a lot
There's
of
the
things
storyboard.
there are a lot of things where you've got really talented writers who grew up loving and reading comic books, but they didn't think that they were necessarily going to be making a
working
really
with them
successful career doing that. So they go to write, scripts in Hollywood, or they go to write other stuff.
Plays
And
and genres.
now you have the success of comics. Now more people are like, wait, man, I'm a really good writer. I love doing this, and I actually maybe can make a pretty good living now actually writing for the comics that I love to read. So
we've seen it with Kevin Smith and J. Michael Straczynski. We've seen it with a lot of big writers who have came in and be like, this might seem like it's slumming it, but
it's not.
I'm able to exercise. And they're able to, right. And a lot of them have probably read comics growing up. And now they're getting to basically, they're getting to exercise the muscles that they weren't ever able to do before, and with a lot less kickback. Because as much as I'm sure, Marvel and DC have their editors who say you can't do this, I guarantee you it's a lot less notes that they get on any particular project than they would trying to turn in a script to a studio.
And so now we're getting great talent coming in from both ends of the funnel. From Hollywood and from people who realize that they can have success going straight into
they can have
books.
space. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of actually having this. And here's the thing, is because it's such a platform. We're living in a space where these films, these comic book movies have been put, they've been placed at the forefront because a lot of these major studios see the simple fact that it is, you can turn, some of these books into a franchise to be successful, which basically
even the most obscure ones,
exactly. And when you go back and you learn about, okay, number one, all right, I need to know what makes this so interesting? Who was the writer? Then you're opening that door in that opportunity for that writer to step forth and say, okay, this is my project, my property, something that I've actually written, that I have such a passion and understanding for. And then, because even like, when you talk about Alex Ross, bro, he paid homage to T-Codes a couple times. Like literally, majorly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you think about that, it's just like now the opportunity is there. Whereas before, if we didn't have these films, would
never
a lot
be
of
there.
these writers have the opportunities that they have right now? I mean, they probably would,
100%.
but it would have been a struggle. You know what I mean?
It would never be there without these guys writing the way they do, man.
Yeah, Alex Ross absolutely loves Coates. He loves, like he did every cover for his 32 issue run on Cap. He loves. There are certain writers that he just gravitates toward, and he wants to continue to work with those guys over and over again. And Coates is one of them. Just two quick comments that I just saw in the chat that I wanted to respond to. Eric Gant said that Coates is a good writer, but not a good comic book writer. His Black Panther run was boring. Christopher Priest, on the other hand, was outstanding. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Personally, I vehemently disagree.
I like that Black Panther run.
I think his Black Panther run was great. I think his Cap run is a masterclass in how to write for comic books. I think he did a brilliant job. I mean, not everybody has to like everything though. So it's cool that you that you don't vibe with his comic book writing as much, but I personally love it. And then Single Songwriter said that we need more seasoned writers that will not bow down to the agenda that we're all suffering.
Yes, Lord.
Through.
Yes.
I vehemently disagree with that too. I think we always need more seasoned writers, but I think too often now when we're looking at certain things that we don't like in comics or whatever, we're getting to the point now where everything that we don't like has an agenda behind it that we that is the boogeyman, rather than just I just didn't like what they did there. Like, it's okay to not like something
without attaching it to an agenda.
Exactly. Like, not everything is some grand conspiracy where there's an agenda behind it, where they're trying to manipulate you. Okay,
I don't know about that.
The perfect thing is this Boba Fett show right now that has a lot of people divided, and it's like, look, has it been the best Star Wars content? No. Jon Favreau and Robert Rodriguez took a swing, and most people think that they missed. Okay. I don't think there's an agenda behind this. This isn't Kathleen Kennedy behind the scenes maniacally laughing and trying to screw over the Star Wars fans somehow. They made something that that a lot of people just didn't like or were lukewarm on it.
Yeah,
he does have a point though as far as influence.
Certain things you can say that there's an ulterior motive.
I agree about the influence,
behind,
big time.
But like we're using that as a blanket thing for everything that we don't like anymore, and just saying that there's an agenda behind this, and And if you want to reference specific things and then talk about how specifically you think that there was an ulterior motive or something with a specific storyline or something like that, then that's fine. But I feel like, just in my opinion, we're using this agenda term blanketly for everything that we just don't like, and trying to make it seem like there's some nefarious figure behind the scenes that's trying to screw us over. And I just don't believe that. I think we just, sometimes these days, we're just having a hard time accepting that you're not going to like everything. And sometimes it's just the guy wrote a bad comic book, or they made a bad movie. And it's as simple as that.
See,
That's my piece on that.
Here's my thing, real quick, because when people talk about agenda, they have to also think, especially when me as a black man, I have to take the agenda word and I have to use it very carefully, because I have to also think it's the simple fact that as a black man and as black men who were inspiring artists, who were inspiring writers, editors who wanted to have these positions back then, the opportunity was given. But back then, because people were angry about the situation, they were quick to attach it to the word agenda. So me looking at that, I'm like, well, if I know how we were treated, and this is what we have to look at it, like how we were treated, how, our, people in our past, our family, our elders and people were treated trying to get into, like right now, we're living in a world where there's a leveling. Now, I agree that certain agendas try to infiltrate properties. They try to get in, but it's up to us to decide whether or not it is an actual agenda, or if we want to label it an agenda and let it sway our perception of whether or not we want to follow these IPs, continue to follow them. Because the thing is, yes, that is out there. It's out there in any genre. It's not just films. It's not just comic books. It's not just writing. It's in even some of the commercials that you see. We know that those things are out there, but at the same time, not everything is attached to the word.
It's left up for us to decipher. What
disagree with something does not mean it's an agenda.
You don't also have to villainize the word agenda. Agenda should
but
be taken away from being inherently evil. Affirmative action is an agenda. It's an agenda to right or wrong and balance the playing field. That is an agenda. That is a goal to make everything equal for all parties so that we all have a fair shot. That is an agenda
for studios to make money. Like,
but you can't sit there and say that's not an agenda, because that would take away the fact that we're trying to level a playing field.
Not an agenda
if DC
in the way it's
hold on.
being
Let me finish though.
used.
If Marvel decides let's make a Black and Hispanic Spider-Man as an agenda to bring in Black and Hispanic readers so they have a Spider-Man that they can look up to, that is not inherently evil. However, it is an agenda. I guarantee you, Brian Michael Bendis did not just pull this out of thin air. He was like, you know what? Back in '63, Stanley never could have made him Black, but now we can. So let's do that, and let's give them, somebody that they can look up to and say, he's like me, Mom. That is an agenda in a positive way. That what we need to take away from that power of that word is saying that every time
everything be negative.
Every time they have an agenda to make a female character popular, every time they have an agenda to make a gay character popular, every time they have an agenda to make a Black character popular, those are all agendas. Chinese character popular, those are all agendas that should be looked at as a positive way.
That's my point.
That's
exactly.
I don't
my
think when you
point.
say when DC says, "Oh, let's make a Batgirl Black so that way like young Black women can look up to her," that is an agenda. There was a board meeting about that. I guarantee you,
it definitely
that wasn't
was
an accident. But that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing or a negative thing.
Right. What we've come to today, though, is people are using the word agenda in a negative
way. There's a lot more negatives when it comes to agenda.
In the situations where there's something that they disagree with.
We're left to decipher what is good and what's evil when it comes to the word agenda.
But if you sit there and say, Lale shouldn't get my job,
that you're pushing gay characters on me. That's an agenda. You're doing. It's like, well, but you have an agenda over here. The point is that you disagree with what this one is doing, and so now you're applying the term agenda in a negative way to that only, and saying that what you are okay with is not an agenda. What you are okay with is just, oh, this is how it should be. But then this over here that I disagree with, that is an agenda. That's what we're doing right now in comic books and in movies and stuff in general. And that's the problem there. It's that the word is not being applied evenly in all situations. And it's more the negative connotation is being used when people disagree with something.
And see, okay, so case in point, the Cap run. When we talk about Cap and we talk about the original, one of the original Black super soldiers, people deemed that book as an agenda in a negative way because they weren't, and even still today, there is still a discomfort with the word inclusion. Like there's a level of like seriously, inclusion and agenda are on the same wavelength as being looked at in a negative light. Like Vinny, I agree. Like when you talk about, agenda, there are positive agendas and we know they exist. And those are things that we want to speak to. The terrible part about that is that is being overshadowed by the negative portions of agenda, because if like, for instance, you get a character who, let's say, comes out as gay. You get a character who comes out as gay, then people are going to be like, no, that character's not supposed to be this, that, and the third. No, that. How do you know? How do you know the true intent of the writer? Just because you never seen those inklings doesn't mean that it didn't exist. Didn't mean that there might not have been an agenda to do so. So you can't be quick to jump. Now, I agree if you're taking characters who were classic characters who we've known, right?
That's
for
all I
years.
want you to say. Okay,
this is what I'm saying. I understand that portion of it because then you're but at the same time, I don't think that as a society right now, we are open to change. Like we are open to a certain level of change. I am pro. I am extremely pro women empowerment. I'm pro for that, bro. I love a strong woman. I love strong representation when it comes to a woman. I love that. And I love that they are getting just due. Because if we look at women throughout history in general, bro, they were always the damsel in distress. They were always used as a vehicle of, it was always, a property for sex, or looked at as, this like sexual object or someone who couldn't really protect themselves. So now we're in back in the day, bro, for years, that's the way it was written, even in books, like literally. Now we're getting to a point where it's being recognized and these women are being put to the forefront. But it's still a lot of people who can't really accept that, bro. And they still have this, butt naked in the kitchen mentality. And that's it right there, bro.
Butt naked, by the way.
No.
Not you butt naked. But the people basically still have that mentality instead of giving them their just due. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. Like, now we have representation. We have Hispanic representation. People don't like the simple fact that we have an Hispanic Supergirl. I'm all for that, bro. I am all for that.
Absolutely.
Because, number one, it was in the books. It was there. These are things that were written before the idea was even formulated to have it on screen.
Also, people are criticizing without even actually seeing her.
Without
as a role.
actually seeing it, bro. And this is what I'm saying. Like, these things, when I look at it, I welcome that, because thing is, when I say inclusion, it's not just for my people. It's for everybody. And this is why we're having this discussion, and why I'm glad there is so many
inclusion for Black characters and not Hispanic. And you can't want inclusion for Hispanic characters and then saying that I don't like that they're giving the Iron Fist to an Asian character. Are you kidding me? That you have a problem with them giving the Iron Fist to an Asian character? Like,
where was Kung Fu
and
everything
you can
born?
have inclusion over here for this particular race, but we can't have inclusion for gay characters or trans characters. Like inclusion is inclusion. Inclusion is not, well, we're going to include some but not others. That's not how that works. And again, like you said, Leo, I understand classic characters, okay? And there are certain things where it's like, and we've had this discussion, there are certain things where it's like, okay, yeah, that doesn't seem to work with the 30-year history of this character.
No.
But there are instances, and I think two things that I've made this point in the past, and I reiterate. One is it's incredibly difficult to come up with a character that has the staying power to become a classic character and to move the needle in society, right? And so to say, oh, just create a new gay character, that's easier said than done. I'm not saying they shouldn't make the effort to do it, but I'm saying it's not just like, oh, I'm going to create a gay character and they're going to be hugely popular and then they're actually going to have a positive societal impact. The second part
But
is
they can. I
that
think
there
it's
are
lazy
certain,
writing when they
it's
don't.
not no, but there for all the characters that we have right now, there are thousands of other characters that never hit and that died on the page. Okay, so it's easier said than done. The other part of that, though, is there are certain characters, for example, where I think it does fit perfectly when they do something like have them come out as gay. Perfect example to me was Bobby Drake, okay? And Bobby Drake as Iceman, for the whole point and the way he was outed with his younger self and stuff too, when you look at it, there are people who have lived their entire lives closeted, never felt like they could come out as gay, never felt like they could be themselves to the rest of the outside world, all right? And that was part of that character where it's like, okay, you can see that this person, just like millions or thousands or however many other, Iceman fans who were reading, there were other kids that were gay that were reading X-Men comic books and never felt like they could come out because they were living a closeted life too. And then they're reading a book where Bobby Drake comes out as gay, and it's powerful to them because they've been reading this guy's books for so long, and they're like, man, he was like closeted and living through the same shit that I've been living through while I've been reading these books. And he came out, and that gave me the courage to come out. That gave me the courage to be who I am to the rest of the world. There's something very, very powerful about that. And so I think that there are instances. I'm not saying every character you're going to completely retcon things like that. But there are certain characters and certain instances where if the writing is done the right way, it is impactful and can make sense. And Bobby Drake, to me, is a perfect example of that.
I mean, look, this is a discussion that we can deep dive, like
Yep, that's why I'm just
literally.
being quiet.
I'm just
can-
that's
I
what
don't
I'm.
wanna get
I'm
stuck
just,
on
I'm
it.
just listening and
But
But
learning.
at the same time, it's like the way I see it in the process of actually having this discussion, and again, because it's really closely related to our topic. That's because if we're having this, think about it this way. If we're having these discussions, if we're having these examine discussions back and forth, where we're analyzing certain things, and not a lot of us are going to agree. We have a platform where we can actually talk about it right now, especially about, this topic in something that we love. Imagine 40 years ago, imagine 50 years ago, imagine artists and people who basically wanted a space to have these discussions, or even to put those characters at the forefront that might have had certain ideas about characters. We don't know, it's like, what, pretty much, bro. How do you not know that the original writer of Superman, how do we know he didn't want him as a black man? How do we know? We know basically on the visual of what we see, but how do we know in his head what he was actually thinking at that time? We don't know. We can basically say we do, but we don't know. What if the narrative was changed? That they told him, no, you can't have a black superhero. He has to be white, blonde hair, blue eyes. He has to be that individual. So now that we have a space to talk about it, just imagine how challenged it was back in the day, like back then. And now we have a space, and we have these individuals who have the opportunity to come out, and no matter what, representation in general, no matter what color, sexuality, whatever, you have a space to basically do it. Here's the thing. It's how it's demonstrated. It's how it's put together. That's basically the thing. It's how it's done, how it's executed. If it's executed in a harmful way, and if it's executed out of spite, then that's something totally different. But if it's harmlessly executed and put at the forefront to say, look, I just want to be heard. I just want to have a space to tell the stories that I think would be enjoyable, that people would actually a space where people like me can enjoy it. You know what I mean? And no matter what, that's the discussions that we are actually having. And I understand, like, people don't like certain things because they think that there is. And again, I want to change the narrative when it comes to the word agenda. I hate it. I hate the word, even though it can be used for good. I still hate that fucking word. I really do. I hate it because right now, in this day and age, they're not looking at the positives when it comes to agenda. Nobody is looking at that positive level. They can give two fucks about what's positive. It's all negative because, like somebody said in the chat, negative and negativity and controversy sells.
Every
and that's
word
what
gets
they're all
hijacked.
about.
It was the same thing. Woke was a positive term at the beginning, and then everybody just decided we're going to use the term woke for any time somebody is telling you shouldn't be a dick. Like, that all these words get co-opted at some point to mean something other than what they started out as.
You know what? Eric Grant makes a good point. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. With terms like social justice, representation, and being awake, it gets getting twisted into pejoratives. It almost feels like we're living in a bizarre world. It is like, because it's just like you can't, like, literally, like for instance, Hawkling and Wiccan. Perfect example. Before all of this happened, the shit was written in the books. It was in the books.
Those are new characters.
But I was about to say that. Brand new characters with no negativity out there at all. And they still love them now.
No. Wait. Because there was pushback. There was pushback.
Man,
there was major pushback.
Barely none.
No.
Barely
there was
none.
major.
There was pushback.
There was significant pushback with those characters. Significant pushback even today. Because even when Wiccan was introduced in the WandaVision show, it was very controversial because people as a kid, knowing him as a kid, and people that are comic book followers were like, no, I'm never watching this fucking show again. Literally.
Well,
so
Young Avengers still selling now.
It's still selling, but here's the thing. It was there before all of this came to the forefront. Now watch. They are going to be placed in that same box with the negative portions of agenda. Even though it was written, even though they're new characters, it was written a certain way, they're still going to be placed in that box. Now look, I'm not saying that I'm actually for shit being thrown at you and placed in your face. There's things where it can be done in a tasteful way without it becoming the negative portion of agenda. We know that, and I get that. Jedi Kid, I understand your frustration. I get all that, but at the same time, man, it's like
DC is completely turning me off, bro. Like I'm buying older stuff now, bro. I'm just tired of it.
But there's some new stuff in DC that I can actually read that's incredible. Like even John Stewart's about to get an incredible run right now.
Well, I'm only buying right now like you mentioned, John Stewart's Green Lantern. I've got a couple of the Jace Fox Batman series. And I mean, that's where I'm at, bro. I got more in the Star Wars. I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. And I got more into the Star Wars stuff, but I'm leaning back right now. I'm just gonna watch the whole fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just tired of the way, like you were saying, when it comes to them going after characters that have been around for 30, 40, 50, 60 years and then attacking them. It's like, come on, bro. Like I'm beat right now, bro.
Do you realize though that the word that you just used feeds in to all of this negative situation? They're taking a different tack with a character, and you don't agree with it. But the word that you used to describe it was attacking. You said you didn't say.
But guys that classic characters have been in stone for years.
That's fine. If your opinion is leave the classic characters alone and write those things for
make
new characters.
ones.
I disagree with that, but that's okay. That's fine. That's your opinion, right? But the word that you used when you said that they are writing for like a Bobby Drake or whoever, the word that you used is attacking. That they're attacking your classic characters.
With Bobby, I had no problem with that because I wasn't surprised about Bobby. I had no problem with that at all. I had no problem with that. And he's a character that he wasn't really
but he's a classic character, so I don't understand.
To me, like I don't know. With Bobby, his situation was kind of different. If somebody's been around like Superman and Batman, or like the Incredible Hulk or somebody like that been around
60s.
But Batman, Superman were there before him. They were in the 50s.
But all right,
So I mean,
but you're literally saying it's a 10-year difference, though.
So-
like,
it is.
where-
I just
where-
that's just how I feel about it, man. Like
And I-
when it comes
and
to
hold on,
DC,
respectfully
bro.
so.
I want to drive this home though. I mean, if you're saying that like a character that's created in the last 5 years is different than something that's been around 40 years, then that's fine. But now we're saying that a character
Perfect
that's been
examples
around
of
for
what I was
50
saying.
years is different than 60
You got
years.
Hawkling and Wiccan.
No, but that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the line that you're drawing for Bobby Drake is weaker than the line that you're drawing for Hulkling and Wiccan. But again, there's also that word that you use rather than saying like I just don't like what they did. Like I don't agree with that. That's totally fine. But it's not that you disagree with it. You said that it was attacking the characters. That like. That's the problem.
Just,
like, do you see
that's
how
just
that
what I
feeds
that's
into
just
that
what I
negative
see,
loop?
and I'm not. That's just my opinion. That's what I see. Because like I
That's-
said, I've been into the comic game just as long as y'all, man, and I love the books. But when I see stuff going a certain way, I gotta fall back and look at things on what I want as a reader, on what I want as somebody that's buying the books. If I disagree with it, then I just disagree with it. I gotta fall back. So I mean,
that's his prerogative, you know.
yeah, this is what it is.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that when we use words like it's attacking if they're doing something to a character that you don't like, that's when it feeds that negative loop that you guys were talking about before. It's the language that we're choosing to use to describe things. Just like you're adding a negative connotation to like agenda or something, you're using a word like attacking, and that's adding a negative connotation that doesn't help move the conversation
Well,
forward.
I've always said agenda can be good or bad. I've never retconned it as just being an evil thing. I've always looked at it as good or bad, like on some of Lyle's points earlier
Yeah.
about being a brother. Like, about 30, 40 years earlier, we couldn't even write in any of DC or Marvel comics. We couldn't get a good gig. We were sweeping the floors in the buildings. So now to be where we are now, agenda means a great thing. I don't that's what I'm saying. It can be good or bad. But the way it's being used now is being more bad. I understand everybody's frustration with it. But I never saw it as only evil. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, real quick, because I don't want to dive in it, but it's a good discussion. It's a great discussion.
It's a great discussion.
I had, like, for instance, and admittedly so, I didn't like the simple fact that they took, and this is basically from a certain perspective. I didn't like the simple fact that they took a character like Falcon and decided to make him Cap at first. I didn't. I admit it, because I thought there was so much rich storytelling with him as Falcon that was never touched upon, that we saw in books.
But see, they were making a way for Hydra Cat.
Reach that level. You know what I mean? But it's just the simple fact that I wanted to see that. So now, if you look at it, there was even at a point where I was kind of upset at the simple fact that, all right, you bring Sam Wilson in as Cap. You make him Captain America, but then in the same token, you also bring Steve Rogers back as Cap. So what was the point in all of that? What was the point in just basically writing a character in his history, in our vision and idea of that character out of books? Something like that, I don't label an agenda. I just look at it like, to me, it was a fuck up, because I was like, look, there was so much in that character that I loved. Do I accept the simple fact that he's Cap now? Yeah, I get that. I'm cool and I'm good with that. But there was so much storytelling, with Cap, with him being, Falcon.
But that's what society has left us. You have to decipher what the word means.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with the Captain America frustration, I get that. Like a lot of jokers was like, "What the fuck? How is this guy? He's not even strong." Blah 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 blah. But I think that was a doorway, even though the writing was a fuck up, and I agree with that too.
Yeah.
You also have Marvel and DC and other companies using the agenda and gimmick in correlation, with meaning that they have a plan to give some representation and some shine to other races or genders, and not mean for it to be a long-term thing, like Jane being Thor for a minute. That was a way for everybody to get to see a female Thor, but yet it wasn't a permanent replacement of
People were
Thor.
pissed
It
off about
was
that one too, bro.
right. People were really upset because they
Mhm.
didn't give it a chance, and it turned out to be one of the most fun Thor runs I've ever read. And I never read it thinking, oh, they're just destroying Thor Odin's son. We're never going to see him again. I read it knowing this is comic books. No one stays dead. No one stays changed. It, you know, if it doesn't work, they'll just come up with something to give him the hair
And
back,
pull
just
him
like
all
they
back.
always do. And I felt the same way when they had Sam be Cap. I felt like this isn't going to be, you know,
Forever.
Captain America for forever. This is going to be a way to give Sam Wilson a primetime book and a primetime slot, give him shine in a way that if they just made a Falcon comic book, he never would have got the same readers as if they would if they had made him Captain America. Now, making him Captain America is like a Trojan horse. You bring readers in, give them a reason to read a Sam Wilson comic book, and then in the future, if they want to also suffice Steve Rogers fans who miss him, they can bring Steve Rogers back, and now Sam Wilson is a much more popular character. And then on the other side, we have, you know, Jane Foster is a much more popular character because of that. So it was something that, okay, let's, you know, I have daughters who love Thor's run and love that. Now, you know, at the end of the day, when it came back and, you know, Thor took his spot back, it wasn't like, oh, like it's over now. I was like, okay, cool. I can't wait to see what Thor does next. I can't wait to see what Jane does next. Like it boosted her into a spotlight. It boosted Sam into a spotlight. It was, you know, a good plan. There's sometimes where the, you know, these gimmicks or whatever you want to call them are twofold. They're a good business decision and it's a good creative decision. I think what it boils down to is it always works best when it's also a good creative decision and not just a gimmick.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, I mean, but they say this all the time with us, you know, in society right now, bro. It's just that we, for some reason, and maybe I was just cut from a totally different cloth, that I'm just so welcoming, bro, that I'm just as a person, I'm just so welcoming, and I welcome in ideas.
Yeah, you got to stop that shit, dude.
No matter how.
You're gonna get you.
I am. I'm a welcoming person when it comes to change. I'm a welcoming person when it comes to ideas. No matter if it's going to fail, at least let it have a space. Let them basically dive off or jump off a cliff with no parachute. See where they land. You know what I mean?
Give me Leslie Grace as Batgirl, man. Let me see how it turns out, man.
I think it's going to be dope because I love the suit. I love how it looks, and that's what I'm saying.
She's
like,
got red hair.
Yeah. So here's
no,
the thing.
that I'll give her a chance because at least they got the suit right. The suit's right from the comic books. It's right out of the comics. So I mean, I'm giving her a chance.
The color scheme is beautiful.
Yeah, I give her a chance with that.
We can now. We all agree. And I think pretty much half the people in the chat agree that not recasting T'Challa was a fuck up.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I've been saying that before, bro. How long I've been saying that, dog? We talked on the phone about that for hours.
That's not an agenda. That's a fuck up.
That's a fuck up. Yep.
Like literally, that is a fuck up.
And they feeling it now.
It's a disservice to a character.
It is an agenda because they think there'll be backlash if they recast them, and the backlash of not recasting them is bigger.
It's worse.
It's a mistake.
Bro, they are feeling it now. How many times they start production? Like 4 times? Yeah, they feeling it right now, bro.
They're blaming her, like, not wanting to get a COVID shot. Nah, they're trying to, they're trying to just
They're trying, these fans are going bananas. I
feel really bad for Ryan Coogler because at the end of the day, he has to take whatever decision the people above him decide or what toys he has to play with and make another masterpiece.
I know he really didn't want that, bro. He had to not have wanted that.
It was hard enough as it was to follow up that movie, and now he has to do it with all this drama.
Right.
I just don't think that it has to be written in, and that character has to be written in as a multiversal
killed
character.
Off, bro.
No,
like,
I
agree. I think they could. I think they should have just said respectfully. We think that Chadwick, and we spoke with his family, and that he would want this character that is such an amazing character to continue on.
Yeah,
and you could do it respectfully. They didn't go that route. That sucks. I agree. I think it was a misstep, but what I'm trying to do with this next Black Panther movie and the Disney Plus show that they're going to be doing, I'm trying to go into it and kind of
Don't say positive.
That. No, I am trying to be positive.
I know. That's what I tell you, Mr. Positive. That's you.
I'm trying to go into this movie and judge it on its own merits, right?
Yeah.
Judge it as a movie itself, and does it work or does it not work, and not let the decision that they made about not recasting T'Challa make me go in hating the movie before I've even seen it. That's my thing. Is I disagree with the decision that they made, but ultimately I want to enjoy a Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
So I want to go into this thing and try and say, okay, I disagree with the decision that they made, but that's the decision they made, and there's nothing I can do to change that. So now let
Black
me
It's
go
like,
in
how are they going to fix
and-
this
so
fumble?
now
They
let
can't
me
leave
go
the guy from the
and
multiverse
just
in
watch
our
this
era.
movie and judge it for what it is, and not because this could actually be something where a lot of people go in and say, and this is actually a pretty well executed movie that people are just going to hate on because they go into it with that mindset ready.
I
I'm not
think
saying
this-
that it's
No.
a justification. I'm just saying, me personally, my choice
I
is
got
to
you.
go into this and try and judge it as its own thing, separate from any other decisions that were made studio-wise beyond
I
that.
got you.
I think obviously we're all going to try to enjoy it when we see it, but I think this is one of those instances in which the fan base being outspoken or critical of a decision is absolutely a positive thing.
They're gonna
because
come
their
down on
decision
it.
to not recast him is because they're afraid of negative backlash.
Yep.
But if they're getting negative backlash for not recasting him,
Yep.
that might change their mind to what majority of people actually want to see, which is to let the legacy live on of that character.
They-
Now, if we all
Yeah.
just sat in our hands and were just like, "Oh, we can't judge it because let's just see what they'll do," they might feel like the people who are
They're going to make more like that.
because it's always the loud minority is that that gets
Absolutely,
the
absolutely.
squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So if
Right.
you have like 1,000 people saying that would be an insult to Chadwick if you recast him, blah blah blah, but then the millions of people who want to see T'Challa's character go on, whether
I
Chadwick is
completely-
there or not,
Saying
I'm
respect
sorry
the
to say,
Chadwick.
a lot of us
I'm
do.
just-
We need
Respect the
to
Chadwick.
like,
We need to recast.
I completely
recast.
agree. I'm just going in and for me personally, I want to make sure that if if this movie turns out to be a well executed, a good movie, that I am giving the credit that is due to the thousands of people that worked on it,
Yeah.
rather than shortchanging them because I go in with a preconceived notion based
That it's gonna
on
be a terrible
decision they
film.
made that that I disagreed with from jump. That's
See-
all I'm saying is I'm going in with that, like, I want this to be good so I can give props to these,
Yeah.
and I don't want to, because there could be a situation where if there weren't for the Chadwick controversy and I just watched this in a vacuum and none of that stuff happened, I'd be like, damn, that was a good fucking movie. But if I then go into it with that foreknowledge, I'm thinking, man, no, I didn't like this. I didn't like this because I was already tainted with that. So that's all. I'm
Yeah.
trying to go in as fresh as I possibly can,
Yeah.
and not just going in immediately thinking that the work that thousands of people did to do this movie didn't amount to what I
True.
wanted to.
And see,
That's
that's
it.
like
That's
my
it.
thing.
A
Real quick,
movie-
real quick though. Real quick. My thing is, I'm going into it as positive. Look. I think that it was a mistake and a misstep because of the richness of the character and so much story element that they have. Not to recast this character, not to tell the story in the right way, not to open that door. And then, like I said, I mean, if you want to, there's certain storylines where you can divert from him as an actual character, but don't do it on his second film.
On his second
but,
film.
I agree.
but,
I agree.
but at the same time, because it's Ryan Coogler, because basically I know the passion and the thought and just how much he loves this IP. I know that, number one, he wants it to be successful. He wants it to be, he wants it at a certain level. And I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the entire cast. I'm rooting for the production team, the director, the writers. I'm rooting for pretty much everybody because the thing is, if it's not successful and if we actually place that negativity on this film, it's a possibility we might not even get a third. You know what I mean? So I want them to basically move it forward, push the needle. I want it to be great. I just think that as T'Challa, as great a character and the opportunity to really show how great he is, for them to automatically jump and say, we're not going to recast. But then for his brother to come up like, whoa. He never said that he didn't want y'all to recast.
Yeah. And
He's
his
just
brother said
basically,
it.
you know what I mean? Like literally, like That's where I think it was a misstep. So, I mean, real quick before I know, because everybody wants to jump in, I want to actually tackle these super chats real quick. We got a $4.99 super chat by Eric Ant. Anyone has Blue Marvel regularly appeared in a series since Ultimate ended? I dig the character, but can't find anything new featuring his. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say is stay tuned because he's coming.
But they did drop the ball, and you haven't seen a lot of him.
Exactly.
Since that.
Nah,
run
no,
ended.
wow.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
it ran,
Unfortunate,
since they changed
but-
yeah, exactly.
I'm
DJ
looking for
N.
Blue Marvel stuff myself. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, he'll be back. DJ N, $1.99 super chat. What's up, fellas? Great topics, great issues. Definitely, man. I'm telling you, this is the we the Stephen A. Smith and what's his name?
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
comics.
Oh.
Skip.
It's Shannon Sharp,
DJ
man.
N, $4.99. And Falcon and the Winter Soldiers. The significance of the convo between Rhodes and Wilson in the Cap Museum was more poignant versus Wilson Cap in America's speech in the end. Yeah, got a good point.
It's just
good point
different
there.
context. Like it's
Different- yeah.
happening at different times in different places. I thought that the speech at the end was really good. But the Rhodes and Sam conversation was really poignant, but also his conversations with Isaiah Bradley, I
Was
think
on
carried a ton of
Bradley
weight.
hit me in the chest. When they were
So-
talking in the backyard, that was amazing.
So
Yeah,
those, I
definitely.
mean, they're not all meant to do the same thing though. They're meant to hit different chords at different times with different people. So for some people, that end, speech from Sam is like the memorable moment. For others, it's the conversations with Isaiah or with Rhodey. It's just or the personal moments with him and Bucky when they finally get on the same page. So it's each beat is supposed to hit differently at different times, just like a song.
Yeah,
For me,
definitely.
it was conversation with Bradley. That was the more poignant conversation for me.
To reverse. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
What were we gonna
Go
say?
ahead.
No, what were we gonna say?
No, I just had two little nitbits. To reverse on the Black Panther thing, it's like a Black Panther movie with no Black Panther. Go figure. And then you got a Flash movie that he time travels, but with no Flashpoint. Go figure. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. When
Well, Flash has
these
time
movies
traveled a bunch of times. When
No,
it's
I
outside
know
of
that,
the
but-
Flashpoint
but this
storyline.
is like his first big movie alone, and it's no Flashpoint. But he's going back. He's
So-
doing some time stuff. That's like
Let me ask you a question with that real quick though, because I thought about this too. Now, because that's an interesting point. But
because a
do
lot
you
of fans
think-
want to see
do you think-
Flashpoint, bro.
do you think?
it's not
But
happening.
here's the thing. This is where I think the misstep was, even for that. I don't. It just me personally. I don't think his first film should have been Flashpoint because that's such a big event. I
That's
don't
why
think
they
totally
shouldn't have
agree.
called it Flashpoint.
they
He
shouldn't have
needed
called
to
it
be
Right.
Flashpoint.
up for a bit before you get to that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't
But
think that they should have
When they
did
first
that
came out, they
first.
dropped it. They said Flashpoint movie. I'm like,
That'd be
whoa.
like
that
the
was
first. That'd be like the first X-Men movie being Days of Future Past. So what makes sense?
Thank you. But
Exactly.
that's how they announced it. So it's like, yo, what the? And then all of a sudden,
and
they
if you
cut it
think
all
about
up.
it, like right now, what's happening? Like the discussion about that film isn't centered around Flash himself.
Yeah.
We're talking about Michael Keaton. We're talking about Ben
Keaton,
Affleck.
Supergirl.
Yeah,
And that's what
Batgirl.
they're doing now. Like if they don't have an answer for something, they just sprinkle some Michael Keaton '89 Batman in there. I hope it works.
It's
That's it.
crazy to me,
That's
bro.
the-
Like,
And here's the thing.
What are they
I'm
thinking?
interested to see Michael Keaton in the Batman role again, but my concern, and
don't
I'm
need a
still
cane, bro.
willing to give it a shot and go see the Flash movie, and hopefully I love it, but I don't know. But I will say that I have a concern with that movie that I had with No Way Home, that Kevin
steam is
Feige
showing
and Marvel
in my ears.
nailed the landing. They stuck the landing and made me like, okay, they did it the right way with too many cameos, too many other characters besides Tom Holland's Spider-Man to lean on. They did it in a way that just fucking nailed it. That is my concern. I'm all for the actress that they have playing Supergirl, okay?
Yeah.
I'm all for seeing Michael Keaton return to the role of Batman, okay? My concern, and we know Ben Affleck is going to be in it. We've heard some rumors of other characters. My concern is that this is going to be just kind of a cameo circle
Yeah,
jerk.
and that's what I'm
And
saying.
not
Like
lean
too
enough
many.
on giving us more of Ezra Miller as Flash and showing
Yeah.
us that he can actually handle this
Exactly.
role. So
They're
Exactly,
gonna
and that's my
try.
point. That's
They're
my
gonna
point.
try to follow Marvel's diet, and they're gonna f up again. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
I
Like it's
just I
just
just don't think that they should have tackled this in the
no,
very beginning. I
no.
don't. I think that
I
should have
think
been
they're
something.
leaning on it because they need a reboot for their universe. And
They know it's a
and
they know
that's
it's
what
a
they're
popular they know it's a
Right?
popular
Why
story.
come out and
Just
say Flashpoint off rip and then
well,
change it
that's
to
what
just
they've
Flash?
done with. But that's what they've done with with so many of their previous films, like
They want the
Superman versus
cachet
Batman.
from
Yeah.
the
They took
Flashpoint
what parts
name.
they like from
Frank
Dark Knight
Miller's book.
Returns,
Mhm.
from Injustice, from Flashpoint, and just that's what they do. They just pick
Mhm.
like cherry pick little moments that they like,
I
or a
really
title that
hate.
sounds
I,
catchy,
I hate
They
without
want the
any
popularity
intent of
of
using the
Flashpoint.
entire story as an entire story.
Yeah.
They don't
True.
have any
The
interest in
popularity of
using a
Flashpoint
particular,
and use
Batman
it as a
story
vehicle to
as a Batman
reboot.
movie or Flash
Mhm.
movie as a Flash story. They pick and choose what they like, and then they just
That's a terrible recipe.
they make a
bro.
collage and then put it out
Yeah.
and just hope,
Oh,
no
look
one
at
knows.
that
They
beautiful
don't have
collage.
somebody overseeing. They don't have a Kevin Feige. They need somebody like that. When you're building your
They don't know how to
comic
world
book
build. They're
universe
great
on
with solos.
screen,
They
when
just
you're
don't know how
trying
to
to
world build.
translate the
Mm-mm.
books to a fully fleshed out universe on the screen,
Mhm.
you have to have somebody whose guiding hand is on that and making sure that you're doing things the right
I
way.
agree.
And that if you're going to interconnect all these things,
Yeah.
it can't just be like, well, this writer and director over here, that writer and director over there, that writer. You have to have somebody who knows how these things are all going to come together, and they just don't have that on the Warner.
They need a
Brothers side.
class on world building. That's what they
Yeah.
need.
They
Real
don't
quick.
have that on the Warner Brothers side, and that means we're going to have a lot more swing and miss than swing and hit when
Yeah.
it comes to DC, and
He actually does.
that's
yeah.
just the reality now.
DJN 499 super chat. Doesn't the late Chadwick Boseman have a brother that can play him with facial tech CGI? I think it was a thing being discussed. Would have honored him too. Yeah,
That would have been the worst thing they could have done.
yeah,
It would not have
CGI.
done-
Yeah, I don't like.
Not CGI, deep fake. I mean, it worked for Luke Skywalker.
Deepfake's
Yeah,
different, but
but they
CGI.
picked that
even when,
apart in
even
2
when they did
seconds.
that,
I
people
can't-
were
they couldn't
shitting
do a whole movie.
on Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
for the
that
quality.
whole-
You know,
They-
that was 30
they
seconds.
hired-
Imagine the
they
whole movie.
hired-
It tore it apart.
They hired the one that
They
did the
hired
deep
the
fake
guy on
on
YouTube,
YouTube.
who did it better. Yes,
His deep fake
But
is
also remember
freaking
like,
amazing.
Like they said, that was like one scene at the end of a show. You're trying to build an entire movie around. They did that for parts of
Fast and
the
Furious.
Fast and Furious 7 with Paul Walker's brother. And it was like, okay, because it was very limited and people understood the tragedy of him dying in the middle of production. And so people were okay, like, yeah, we know, let's do that. But they did not then bring him back and then do a full Furious 8 or whatever with Fate of the Furious with him, because they knew it's like you can get away with it for a scene or two. You can get away with Tarkin and Rogue One in a limited capacity when he's
Yeah,
talking
in
and you're
Rogue
looking
One,
at his
yeah.
back a bunch
Princess
of times.
Leia too.
Yeah.
Her
Leia,
daughter's gonna
because
do
she
it.
like literally said
Just
hope.
real quick
She
and
said
no
one
word, but
word
yeah.
and that was it. Like you can get away with that. You can't build an entire Marvel tentpole movie
Yeah.
around
That would have been
CG'd
bad. That would have
face
been bad.
on his brother's body. It just wouldn't work, and it would have been looked at much worse than
than recasting
or what they're doing right now. And not
They need to just
recasting.
recast
It
and
would have
stop.
been way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Just
a
recast.
499 super chat by SpongeBob Square Balls. Black Panther, very bad move, not recasting. Now,
I
who is
agree,
Storm going to
SpongeBob.
marry? How is their child going to be in the MCU? They missed the power couple. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
but
Storm's
yeah,
got to
like-
marry.
But they're saying that
I don't think
they're
that's going to happen though, because we don't have a Storm yet.
well, they got a bootleg one.
he said now Storm's going to marry ASAP Rocky. Everybody's married.
Oh
ASAP
God!
Rocky.
Yep, he got
You know,
everybody
the,
pregnant
that's,
now.
that's the talk of the day.
talk of the
SpongeBob
day.
SquarePants,
I can't believe he
499.
got
I love
Rihanna
Chadwick
pregnant.
as Black Panther, but he was playing a character. Chadwick
Drake and Chris Brown
was
outside
not
her house just
actually Black
crying.
Panther. True.
Thank you.
True. Yeah.
I think
Great
it was just
point.
a combination of the character had
Great
never
point.
been done on screen before, and people were so enamored with that, and the rise of Chadwick as this amazing
perfect
positive
storm.
force in Hollywood. And I think that ultimately just scared Marvel and Disney from recasting. Like I don't think there was any like ill intent. I think they were trying to not do something that they thought was going to piss a lot of people off, and it ended
Man.
up just backfiring on them.
I
It
watched an old
happens.
interview of
It's,
him.
You know, They made a mistake.
This is a dope question.
I saw an old interview of him.
I'll wait till you read it, but I got an answer.
Yeah, but go
when
ahead.
when they asked him about being a Black Panther too, and he said, "I'm dead. I'm dying."
No,
Bro, when he
that
said that,
hurt.
yo,
Bro,
oh my god, that hit me in the
bro.
chest, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, he knew it.
Bro.
But he was playing with them, but he knew what time it was. I'm like, oh my god.
He wasn't
bro.
talking about Black Panther 2 though.
He was.
He was
They
talking
asked him about Black Panther
Endgame.
too.
They asked him, but he was talking about Endgame.
This back to Endgame.
Oh.
Yeah, he was talking
He was
about
like,
Endgame.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm like, oh, Chadwick, bro.
Ashley
Oh
Chase
my
with
God.
the $14.99 super chat. RP Chadwick, if you had a choice of actors to replace him, what would he or what would be your choice? Okay, everybody think of their actor,
I already got it.
and yeah. So Vinny, you go first. I have an idea, but you go first.
Oh.
Everybody think of what actor they would want to see play this character.
Rewatch Tenet again and tell me John David Washington ain't Black Panther if they give him some fucking leg stilts. Like
But
that
he's
motherfucker,
too
he's a little
short.
John
short.
David
He's too
Washington.
short.
He's a little short, but John
He's too
David
short.
Washington's
I
mannerisms
work with
in that
him on
movie
Ballers. That
is
dude
like
is-
he was
I'm way
trying
taller
to
than that
be
dude.
Chadwick.
You
Like
think?
John David Washington is
He would be good, but he's too
amazing.
short. He's
But-
too short.
But they can work around that. He's not that short. They can work around it. If Hugh Jackman
Tom
can be
Cruise
6'5",
has been too short his
Black
entire
Panther-
career.
I'm
Black Panther,
6'3".
if Hugh
I'm
Jackman can be
6'3". He gotta be
6'5",
about. He's like 5'9", 5'8".
but they weren't trying to make him tall. They could
Yeah,
make
yeah.
him tall. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Hell, if they can make Wolverine Hugh Jackman, who was 6'1",
Exactly.
then they can make him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Make him a
so-
short Black Panther. That's all.
Butt naked. You got a character? You got somebody who you think could play him?
Mine is a little bit off the beaten path. I don't think a lot of people would necessarily think of him as Black Panther.
Yeah, my guy is
and
off,
he's
too.
more TV. Well, I kind of have two. One is a little bit more lighter skinned, but Michael Ealy. I don't
Ealy-
know. So he's not like a
I
big
know you're
A-list
talking
actor.
about.
He's done more
He-
TV and stuff.
He's a good actor.
Green
though.
eyes,
But
Green Eyes,
yeah,
Michael Ealy.
he's a
Yeah.
really good actor, and
Yeah,
I think that he would be able to do it. Another one that
All right, he's too light skinned.
another one that
Yeah, too
I'll
late.
be the one to say it. Leo, you want to say it, but I'll say
I
it.
said it
Yeah.
off the top that I said he
He
is
said he was too
light-skinned.
light
I don't know,
skinned. I let him
but
go ahead and
acting
keep
ability.
talking.
So the other one
can act,
that I
but he
would kind of
can't.
the other one that I would kind of dig, but I think he would need to like beef up, bulk up a little more. Although so
Mm-hmm.
did Chadwick. I mean, he bulked up a lot for
Mhm.
but from The Harder They Fall.
I can't think of this boy's name.
Lakeith
Hold on.
Stanfield.
Yeah,
Lakeith?
he's a
He
dope
was-
actor. I want to see him in something in Marvel.
He was my absolute favorite part of The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
So, I mean, obviously, I think somebody like Jonathan Majors could do it too, but we know he's Kang. So
Yeah.
for me, like all I wanted when I was watching The Harder They Fall was more of him. He's I think a force. I think he's going to be a big Hollywood presence moving forward. So if I had to think right now off the top of my head,
If you haven't seen it, watch Sorry to Bother You.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I would go with him. I would probably go with him.
Okay, Jedi Kid.
Oh my God, it's my boy from he's in like all the Medea movies. Oh my God, I can't think of this cat's name.
Not Tyler
man.
Perry.
No, definitely
I
not.
don't want Black
No,
Panther.
no.
Actually,
The
Black
dude,
Panther.
the dude is
like grandma.
he's darker skinned. I can't think of his name, man.
You want
I had his
Medea
name.
as Black Panther?
It blew off my head, right off the top of my head. Oh my God.
He's been how many? What was one of the ones you can remember?
He was on the TV show on the TV show too. With the dad was like a fire. He worked for like fire
Meet the
department.
Browns.
Meet the Browns.
Oh, I know who you're.
The younger guy. He's big too, bro.
Oh, are you talking
was-
about?
He was on the
Dark
MacGyver
skin
reboot
buddy.
for a bit too, like on.
Yeah,
hold
he's
on.
big, bro. He's
Hold
big.
on.
He's like 6'3" or 6'2".
Hold on.
Oh my God, I can't think of this cat's name. He was on Meet the Browns, and he was on the other show where the dad was like he worked for like the fire department. He was like a fire
Lance Gross.
Lance Gross.
Yeah.
Lance Gross. I think that's him. He's big. He's kind of big. Yup, that's him.
This
Perfect. That's my boy right there.
Lance Gross.
Yeah.
Him.
I-
Him. He would
Yeah.
be perfect for it. He would be perfect for it. I think.
So the guy I'm picking and who I think could actually play it, he's actually in. So we saw and we got more so familiar with him in the Insecure, the show Insecure on HBO. But he's also going to be in
the boyfriend.
He's going to be in Top Gun. Yeah, he's going to be in Top Gun.
He'd be good.
Jay Ellis.
He'd be good.
I think would be a dope. Like
He'd
if you
be
look
good.
at him, like I'm gonna bring up a picture. And,
he'd be good.
And if you look at it, it's sort of like he's sort of not. I know he's not Chadwick.
He'd be good though, bro.
But he would definitely be. When I look at it and let me pull it up real quick because he looks like. If I look at him, I could see like him, kind of pulling off the road a tad bit. But if you look at him here, like
but he got a dark. He got to get a little darker.
Well, no, he's dark. It's just this photo. They lighten that shit up. He's dark. It's just what they did in this photo. But I can see Jay Ellis, pulling off
my complexion.
One of my top choices, it would be if he wasn't already cast as Blade and hadn't already played Cottonmouth, would be Mahershala Ali, because that is just next level.
Bro, him as Black Panther would be
still to
flawless.
This day, that was like when
he was Cottonmouth,
the biggest misstep that, in my opinion, the biggest misstep that Netflix made was.
I don't think they were ready for it. I don't think they were ready for
it. They killed him off too early, bro.
I don't think they realized what they had.
He was a beast.
He was that jolt of electricity in that show.
Dude.
As much as I love the show, as much as I love the lead, as much as I love all the supporting it was Cottonmouth's show.
For him to get killed like that, I hated that, bro. In the club, like just so that wasn't even a fight, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the cinematography of that one shot where it's coming up on him, up on the railing, and he's got the painting and the crown of Biggie behind his head, man. And you just felt it. Like, that dude is... And that's why I hope that they really give him something to work with and they don't make his version of Blade too similar to Wesley Snipes' version of Blade. And I enjoyed Wesley's take on Blade, but it was very stoic, didn't really speak. Like, I want him to flex his acting muscles in this Blade movie. And
so
I hope they lean into Mahershala Ali as good as he is.
So we got Mahershala Ali as Blade. We still got a vacancy who we basically think could be the new Black Panther. We know who we actually want to be Cable, and that's Butt Naked. So I think we got.
He got Cable. He got the Cable role. He got it.
He's like, yeah, I'll own that shit. Real quick, my daughter was like,
I'm just saying, like, look, like, no, that's not the right one. There we go, right there. Like, come on,
there he is.
That's right there.
That's
I
it.
can do it.
Just
picture my eye sparkling. I mean, my eyes already sparkle, so we don't even really need to add much CG. But come on.
This dude, bro.
My daughter Skylar is Blue Marvel the Avenger, who was supposed to be most intelligent. He is intelligent. I don't remember much of what I researched from his character. Yeah, come on, baby, come over. Daddy will actually give you the research.
Yeah.
I answered a little bit in the chat. He's up there. He's in the echelon. He's in the conversation.
I think he's smarter than Reed. I think.
It's funny when they compare the intelligence levels of different characters and shit, because there's one point in the Iron Man books right now where he gets the power cosmic like Tony Stark, and he tries to make everybody in this one kind of square block or whatever as smart as he is. Right, he imbues them with his intelligence so that they can all kind of solve problems and be better, and he thinks that's the key to making everything better. And so he's doing it on a small scale, and somebody turns to Reed Richards and is like, "Do you feel different now?" And Reed Richards, because he's now been given the intelligence of Tony Stark, he's like, "I actually feel a little bit dumber now."
Yep. Growing up for me, Reed was always the smartest.
Reed was always the smartest.
Reed was always the smartest.
Yeah, until Blue Marvel came along.
He's super intelligent.
Which is cool when they explore his dark side in other parts of the multiverse and stuff with how Reed Richards could turn out. It's like that's pretty cool.
The Hall of Reeds, ain't it? The Hall of what was it? The Hall of Reed Richards or something? All the different versions of him.
Yeah, he's literally the most dangerous character in in Marvel Comics.
Shit, his son is worse. Is
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah,
Yep.
actually, yeah, it's true.
Oh, yes, he
top
is.
two.
It's a god
DJ
killer.
$1.99 super chat. Oh, yeah, with Bradley was really
Galactus is
full-hearted.
his herald.
Definitely it was, man. We got
Yep.
a couple super chats I want to actually address in here real quick. Another $1.99 super chat. They don't need a reboot. WB execs need to boot.
Thank you. DJ, that's my boy.
I agree
Yep.
with that all day,
I
every day,
agree.
bro. They need to
I
get the
agree.
hell
Or
up
just,
on
like
out.
just let like if the current Warner Brothers structure, it's like set up DC Studios the way Marvel has Marvel
So I've
Studios.
said for years,
Mhm.
they need
And
the DC
do
Studios.
that. It's like if look, you Warner Brothers execs, you do your thing with the regular Warner Brothers movies that you've been doing for 100 years.
Don't make
But
yeah,
for
another.
the comic properties,
Mm-hmm.
have executives like Kevin Feige, like have executives that are DC films, that
Right.
they're the ones who are spearheading
No
this
CEO
stuff,
type crap.
so you don't get into shit, because maybe you can make successful movies,
Mm-hmm.
but you struggle making successful comic book movies.
Right.
True. Very true.
Right.
SpongeBob Square Bows, $4.99. Storm needs that husband. Wakanda has to worship the goddess. We can't let her be lonely. She needs
Facts.
her T'Challa, even though they got
I'll keep
divorced.
Storm company.
Yeah, they
Who wouldn't?
they got divorced.
Exactly.
No wouldn't.
Hey, I got my own Storm upstairs.
There you go.
Hey, DJ N for Black Panther. What about Sterling K? Oh, well, he was already in the film. He was already there. He was already. He would have been, but
Oh,
he
yeah,
actually did
damn.
audition for the character,
Yeah.
but he didn't get it. But yeah, Sterling K. Brown would have actually been good. You know, hell,
That
Yaya
dude
would have
is
been
such a good
decent
actor.
too. But you know, Black Manta, we can't take him away from that role because it's his own.
Yeah.
Luminar, you guys
Assuming
should
they
do your
actually do
favorite
anything
DC
with Black
versus
Manta.
Marvel equivalent characters. Yeah.
What's my boy from Guardians of the Galaxy? The one that tries to get Star-Lord in the beginning when he's trying to steal the
Yeah.
Oh, Jamon.
Jamon
Hansu.
Hansu.
he
Yeah,
voices Black Panther on the comic.
Yeah. And
He would have been perfect too in live action, but he's too old.
Somebody even said dude that plays in what's that what is it called? Snowfall?
Snowfall.
But I'm like, nah, he's too small.
He way too skinny, man.
He's way too small. He needs to
bony as hell.
he needs to beef up some. Look, there's there's some out there. Right now we're fan casting, but I don't know what they're
That's
doing.
true.
I just hope something's successful. Man.
Yuli's second kid also mentioned another high intellect on the other side, on the DC side, that people sleep on a lot is Mr. Terrific.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's a
Oh, yeah.
beast, bro. In the
Did you-
he is an animal, bro.
Did y'all see? Okay,
That's
so
the Black Reed Richards.
2 weeks ago, I actually watched the Injustice animated cartoon.
He was
see
dope.
that.
Did you?
he
You
was
didn't
dope.
watch it,
And is
He
it
was
good?
dope.
bro?
Yeah.
Watch it. It's
Yeah.
good as
Mr.
shit.
Terrific is a beast,
When
bro.
after the I've been reading the comics, so I don't know how
Mhm.
much of that is included in the animation, but the comics are amazing.
Bro, it's the animation version of. I mean, number one, it's a lot, but it's long. It's long.
It's long.
and they couldn't squeeze in a lot, but it's dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. I like it.
They changed
I
the
really
story a
liked it,
little
bro.
bit.
Yeah, they
but
changed it a lot. Yeah.
It's dope, bro. That's
I
dope.
mean, again, DC does animation really well.
The animations
Yeah.
have been flawless, but it's
Because
just
I
they
think Warner
cannot
Brothers
do
executives,
movies.
they don't
Scholar,
give a
Uncle
shit,
Vinny
so they
got
don't
you.
pay attention
Uncle
to
Vinny
that
got you.
stuff.
Scholar, don't worry. Uncle Vinny got you. Just go over there. All those books. Uncle Vinny
All
got
behind
you.
him, he got you for days.
Uncle Vinny got you. Don't worry about it.
It's a library.
Yeah, but yeah. What else we got in here? Oh, nice.
What we got is 2 months. 2
2
months till
until
Moon Knight.
I know. Is it 2 months?
Damn, that's
Yeah.
a long ass
March.
time.
It's
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn,
Well, but February is a short.
Well, February is
a short
tomorrow,
month, so like
28
we've
days.
got like just under 4 weeks or so, just under 8 weeks. until
Kenobi is
Moon Knight,
in May?
March 30th.
Kenobi's May, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe so.
Probably. Yeah, they're definitely going to launch a Star Wars show in May. I don't think they've made an official
I think it's
announcement.
Kenobi. I think they're going to announce it at the Star
Celebration.
Wars celebration next
yeah.
in March, right?
Well,
Which
No,
I'm
Celebration
supposed
is
to
at
be
the end
going
of
to,
May.
but I'm still debating right now. I got my ticket, but I'm
Oh,
still.
it's at the end of May.
Celebration's at the end of May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's May. Yeah, so they'll make the announcement before then.
So Kenobi won't come out until probably till
The
June.
only thing is maybe they
Damn.
make the announcement on May the 4th, and then it airs like at the end of the month.
Yeah,
They might do that. I don't know.
because
Yeah,
Mando's
they
not
haven't
until
made the
December.
official like they haven't officially announced
So
a date for it.
let me ask you a question. What you think about Luminar's question? Should we do a show this way?
Our
Yeah,
favorite
should be your
DC
favorite
versus
DC.
You mean like DC versus like like Deadpool and Deathstroke, Wade and Slade
Oh
Wilson kind of deal?
yeah, I'll
Something
do
like
that.
that. Yeah.
I'll do that
like,
all day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And who we think
Superman,
who
Hyperion,
we think would
Batman,
actually
Moon Knight.
win? Yeah. Who
Yeah.
do we think would have the advantage
But
based
Batman's
on?
beat Captain America's ass twice.
that could go into
So I've got the book.
There
Superman
are a
beat the
lot of
Hulk.
different ways. There are a lot of different permutations because some people will match up like Batman and Moon Knight, but you could
Batman
also
beat
match
Thanos.
up Batman and Iron Man,
Yes, he did.
right? And
Yep.
in several ways, you could actually match up Batman and Daredevil. Like it depends on
That would be a
what
good
aspects of their
ass
characters
fight.
and stuff you're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, but not even in terms of like who would win in a fight, but more
There's a
just
whole
like
bunch. You
how
can do
their
Batman and
characters
Captain America.
mirror
That
one
mirror
another.
each other. Yeah, Daredevil
Fate and
and
Strange.
Batman, Moon Knight, Batman,
Fate and Strange.
Fate and Strange.
yeah,
Yeah,
mhm.
I'd have to get at. I would literally have to
Swamp
give that to
Thing
Fate.
and Man
Literally.
Thing.
I'd have to give that to Fate, bro. I
Who
would.
Fate and Strange?
Yeah.
Yo, Fate would.
I would literally have to give that to
Yeah.
Fate because
Fate-
we're talking about years and years,
Yeah, yeah.
centuries into decades of
Passing
knowledge with
on
that
from
particular
the next
character,
to the
passing
next
on
to the
from one.
next to the
Yeah,
next.
And
you might be-
each iteration gets stronger. Like
Mhm.
each iteration learns
Yeah.
more. So
Fate-
I'm just saying,
Fate
you
would-
might have pissed off. You might have pissed off the missus now.
I know,
'Cause you
but
going against
I
her.
know,
It's like now
but
you're,
it's
you're taking Pierce Brosnan over Benedict Cumberbatch, right?
no, I'm not.
Now you're
No,
saying,
I'm not.
now
Not
you're-
that version. He's an alternate version, not that version.
Yeah.
But
He's
it's
talking about
tough.
See, it's an
Fate.
interesting topic because there's a big difference between
Bro,
just
I have the-
comparing who is comparable between a DC character and a character like it in Marvel.
For
and
Kang?
who would win? Who would win is a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the versus
Is her
is
question
completely
just
different.
who would
Yeah.
be the equivalent of, and just go down
That's
the
another
list?
good
or
show.
And
who
talk
would
about
win?
which
That's
one
two
you
different.
like more.
That's
yeah.
two different stories.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'd have to set because I don't think it would just be like, all right, I'm going to take two characters versus who's going to win. We could do
Yeah,
fun
but
stuff
typically
like
in
that.
versus, that's what you do though. You typically match up two people that are similar from each company. That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people, that's what a
Right,
lot of
but
the
not
versus
always.
battles
But
online
like
do.
to me, it'd be more like how I'd be more interested in how characters are similar, how they match up, like how you would kind of relate. Batman
Wonder
to
Woman
Moon
taking
Knight
Thor's
or
hammer.
Batman to Daredevil. How would you would relate those kind of characters to one another? But if you wanted to do a straight beat down,
Yeah.
who wins,
I think
I love
think
that YouTube
how we
channel,
would do
Bat in
it.
the Sun.
How we would do it is we would
Yeah, Bat in
structure
the
it
Sun
that
is
way.
great.
Similarities, like compare the character notes against the characters. What's similar, what's different, and then final analysis would be, who would get over, who has the
Darth
advantage
Maul.
between the characters.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
come
Darth
on,
Maul would.
Come on, man.
Poor Peter.
Watch the fight that they had on Bat in the Sun.
I
right?
saw
they,
it.
They film like
Yeah.
movies
I saw
and
it.
stuff.
Come
They
on,
did
man.
and that it's fun.
I didn't
though,
agree.
because then you start I didn't think about that. I didn't.
Yeah.
Like they had one where it was
Hey, Yuli.
where it was Deadpool and Domino against Joker.
Punisher
and
would
Harley.
destroy Vigilante, bro.
Right?
Yuli,
It was
second
fun.
kid, which version? Which version?
Punisher would trash Vigilante.
You got to
I'm
remember,
sorry.
in Vigilante he's no more. He blew his own head off. So
You know the funny thing is the vigilante that's on the Peacemaker show. Like
Yeah.
I think I had said this to you. The vigilante that's on the Peacemaker show, it's the same character. They're just taking a different
Ooh.
take on him, but it's the same character as the Adrian Chase, the vigilante
Green
that was
Lantern
on
all
the
day.
Green Arrow.
yeah, true. Green
Green
Lantern
Lantern
versus
all
the Nova
day.
Corps.
Green Lantern all
I
day.
would go Lantern.
Yeah.
Green Lantern all day. Trust and believe. Them boys will slaughter that Nova Corps. Like,
Nova
come on.
Corps.
bro.
That reminds me though, if I would highly recommend anybody play the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out last year. I finished that, man. You got Nova Corps in there. You got Adam Warlock in
Bucky would
That
whoop
game is
Red
good.
Hood's ass.
there. Oh yeah,
That's
fuck
a
all
good
that.
one. That'd be a
all
good one.
day.
That'd be a good one.
He
That'd
would
be a good
whoop
one.
his
It would be
ass.
entertaining.
It would not be
and
easy.
I think Bat in the Sun did one, but
Yeah, they
Bucky
did.
Bucky all day.
Bucky all day, bro.
They also did a Wolverine versus Wonder Woman that was really
That
good.
was good, but the Wolverine, come on, bro. Like,
Manhunter Kate Spencer versus Jessica Jones. Woo.
oh, that's a good one.
Catwoman versus Black Cat.
Oh,
Woo.
Catwoman would destroy her. Sorry,
I love Black Cat,
Catwoman.
but yeah,
Yeah,
Catwoman,
Catwoman.
all day.
Catwoman would kill her.
all
She'd
day.
break that bitch neck.
Hulk versus the Thing. Come on, that's
That's
No.
not. Well, that's Marvel.
No, that's
versus
total Marvel and Marvel. No.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Hulk all day.
unless you're talking
What
about
about
Swamp
Hulk
Thing.
versus
If you're
Superman?
talking about Swamp Thing, yeah.
If you're talking like Hulk versus Superman, that's interesting.
Now
Venom
Superman
was
whooped the
whooping
Hulk
Superman.
ass.
Oh,
What?
Dr.
No,
Strange.
sorry.
Think about a symbiote Superman.
Oh my god.
Venomized Superman.
Oh my god. That would be
Woo-hoo.
unfathomable.
SpongeBob
Right there.
SquarePants $4.99. If you do the Versus show, you need to invite Luminar to be on the stream.
We don't
Hey,
need a versus show to invite
Luminar.
Luminara. We could have
Yeah,
Luminar,
just have her
whenever
on
she
there.
wants to come on, she can come on. Like, we got
No
space
doubt.
for her. She
Yep.
can come on. Hey,
Yep.
look, we would invite any woman who wants to be on this show. Come on, we need more, bro. We need more. We need more influence. Come on,
Yeah,
just
we gotta
jump
get
on.
Susan back. and-
Yes, definitely when she is not
What's
busy.
what's the other one?
Wolverine versus Wonder Woman.
CC's awesome. So
Just
yeah,
the
get 'em
tip.
all.
Yeah, that's on Batman's son. Wolverine versus Wonder Woman.
Indeed.
Wolverine. That's a good video too. Like that and the Darth Maul versus Spidey. Those are good.
Oh, Black Adam versus Magneto. Oh my
That's a
god.
really good one. But
That
Black
is a-
Adam.
Black Adam
Oh,
would kill him though, bro. I think he would kill him.
It'd be fun for a minute.
Dark Side all day.
That was the Dark
all
Side.
day. Dark Side all day.
Especially if they go with the new Dark Side. Like, hey, guys.
Here
we
you
always-
go.
We always met. We always met for it.
Yo, come on, that's not no.
That's not even fair, bro. Why are you
Daredevil
doing that?
all day?
Why are you
You'd be
doing
surprised
that?
how
to
many people
Nightwing,
would say
bro?
Nightwing to that, though. But yeah, Daredevil.
Dare-
I like
Daredevil.
Nightwing. I love Nightwing. That's one of my favorite DC
Luminar.
characters. But
Matt
Daredevil
Murdock
would
would
destroy
beat
him,
Dick
bro.
Grayson like he was the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Luminar, look what you just got started,
Yeah.
man. You just
Now,
diverted the.
Daredevil and Batman is the totally different story.
Oh man.
Daredevil
See, I was
versus Batman would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a fight. But Nightwing and him, nah, that Daredevil would kill Nightwing, bro. Yeah.
Bullseye versus Deadshot and Boomerang
I'd
to
probably
make it
Nah,
fair. To make
Deadshot.
it fair.
I'd probably take Bullseye.
I don't know.
Miles Morales versus Virgil Hawkins.
Ooh,
Miles.
that's Miles though, man.
Yeah, that is Miles. Virgil Hawkins, but Miles.
Nah, that's Miles. Yeah.
Vinny versus The Room.
Oh, Vinny all
Room.
day. I'd be like,
Yo, what's this? What's this? Rabbids 2099 versus Catwoman.
damn, you getting deep.
They getting real deep.
Yeah, that boy said Ravage.
Ravage.
Damn.
That's a good one.
I say Catwoman too, man. I just don't put
Catman.
nothing past her,
Catman.
bro.
Catman.
You said Catman.
Oh, Catman. Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. No, Ravage would kill him. Sorry.
I'm not even going.
Yeah, Catman is trash.
Jesus Gutierrez is going. He's going. I think he's going to piss Brendan
Catman
off
is
right
trash.
I bet. I
Yeah,
mean, it wasn't.
right
The
there.
director was decent.
Watch the director's cut. The,
Director's
the
cut.
whole part that is not in the theatrical with Coolio,
Mm-hmm.
all right, actually rings more true to.
Hold up,
actually rings-
rewind.
That can't be the
Rewind.
first. That can't be the
Rewind.
first thing positive.
You said with Coolio?
Coolio
Look.
is in the movie, dude. Coolio's in the movie.
He is in the movie.
I'm telling you.
I just.
Brendan,
I
Brendan.
never
in
would
the
imagine
director's
that'd be
cut.
the. I never would
Brendan.
imagine that'd be the first thing
Brendan.
you said in that movie's defense.
Brendan.
Hey, hold up,
Yes.
As much as you break down movies,
Go back.
in
Go
and
back.
out, cinematography, and directors, you're going to talk about Coolio?
You goddamn right. Go back. When was the last time any of you guys watched the director's cut of Daredevil?
I've never
I'm
seen.
about-
I've
I'm
the
never
about-
seen
I'm about
it.
to- I'm about
I've
to go
never
to
seen
bed,
it.
bro.
I've never. I've seen
I'm
the
about to go to
director's
sleep.
cut, but apparently I need to see the Coolio cut.
Coolio,
Coolio cut.
he's
No,
a
the director's
defendant.
cut's really decent.
The director's cut, Coolio is a defendant, and this it rings it the whole element that they really missed from the.
Did he have
theatrical
the
cut.
braid, the plaits?
Bro, even the regular
Coolio
version.
is a wrongfully accused. He's set up by the cops for a murder he didn't commit. And Ben Affleck's character, as Matt Murdock, realizes that he is actually innocent, and he's actually going out and trying to prove that Coolio's character, who is a criminal but didn't do this, is innocent. And that's it rings true to the entire nature of the Daredevil character. Take out for a second that it's Coolio. Okay?
Every time you
but-
say
Just
that
stop
name,
saying Coolio,
It's-
bro.
Also,
Like,
he was big at the
Your Honor.
time when that movie came out. He was still big, right?
Your Honor, in my client's defense, he has been spending most of his life living in a gangster's paradise.
a gangster's paradise.
You see exactly. But no, it's like legit. It's not a great movie. All right,
Connor
there are a lot
Kent.
of
Now,
faults.
if
Connor
you take
Kent.
out that swing set scene in the park where he's supposed to be blind, yeah, he's doing acrobatic.
Yeah, that was
even
too
the
much.
regular version's okay.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: if you look at the way Ben Affleck played Batman, he can absolutely play that dark, tortured Matt Murdock character. All right, he absolutely can do that. And the role that convinced me that Ben Affleck was going to be good at Batman when all these people were hating on it when he was first announced was The Town. Okay,
Yeah.
he is really good in that type of role. He could absolutely nail the character of Matt Murdock Daredevil. They just went a completely different tone
Scarlet
for
Witch.
that.
I was one of the weirdos that
And
said,
Michael Clark Duncan, I love him, and I think he could have done a really good job as Kingpin. They just
Yeah.
didn't write a good Kingpin movie for him.
For him,
to
yeah.
be in. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of elements of that movie that I actually like. But as a whole, no, it doesn't work. But the director's cut is a substantial improvement.
With
Still not
Coolio.
great, but it's a substantial improvement.
With
in
Coolio.
large part because of that subplot that they cut out with Coolio.
Let me tell you, say
I
the
can't,
name.
bro.
It's just the name. That's
Yeah,
Scarlet Witch versus Enchantress. Scarlet Witch all day. I'm
Scarlet Witch all
sorry.
day.
yeah, Scarlet
Scarlet
Witch.
Witch all day.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer's. I'm just.
Are
Gonna
you
keep-
serious?
keep
Who
moving
did that?
on. There's no
How
contingency.
was that
Surfer
even
versus
cross your
Batman?
mind?
He would take him into space and leave him there to die.
Wonder Woman versus Storm.
Oh,
Wonder Woman
that
beat
is
her.
tough.
Wonder Woman has beat Storm.
Yeah, Diana will win.
Wonder
that
Woman
one.
beat Storm.
Yeah. As
Storm
much
is
as I
Omega
love
level
Storm.
though. I don't know about
No,
that.
Wonder Woman has beat
No.
her. I got the comics, bro.
And Diana hangs with Superman. She can hang
Yeah.
with Storm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nick Fury versus
She- and
Amanda
then-
Waller. Come on, man.
Oh my, really?
Come on,
We gonna
man.
throw a diet drink at
I mean,
Amanda?
if we're talking about who can be a bigger asshole, then it's more competitive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not that one's not happening.
That's Silver Surfer versus Batman is hilarious. That's funny. That's a funny one.
Oh,
I like that
What a-
Perpetua versus Eternity. That's a good one.
Beyonder
King-
versus
Yeah.
King
Doctor
Carter
Strange.
27
or
shot
Doctor,
really good.
Doctor Fate would destroy everybody.
I don't know. I mean, that's a
Beyond
good
is
one,
a-
though.
Beyond
Beyonder's
is
a
a,
beast.
he's a reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
That's
Between
he
him and
basically
Fate.
he Beyonder basically exists anywhere between. Put it this
Mm-hmm.
way. So what we got, the iteration that we got of Ultron with the stones in
They
the
could be between dimensions.
in What If,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that's Beyonder.
Yeah.
Beyonder exists in between the multiverse
Dimension. Mhm.
and in
Yeah.
between dimensions, because that's basically. And you got to remember, are we talking about Beyonder, or are we talking about the Beyonders?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
that's not a fair fight at all. It's Beyonder.
Hell
well,
nah.
Naboo is. I
Hell
don't know.
nah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess.
Hell nah. Like that's not a fair fight at all. Beyonder would end all be all with that. That's just it. You know, even I'm talking about even the white suit mullet version. That's how powerful he is.
Oh well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's let's see here. Cyclone from JSA versus Sister of Husk and Cannonball. Ooh.
Digging in the crates.
Oh,
You are
wow.
digging in the crates for
I
that
have not
one.
heard nothing about Arrow in a minute.
Here you go.
Jesus
Here you go.
Christ.
Wolverine versus Lobo
That's
and Deathstroke versus Taz.
They've had that Wolverine versus
I
Lobo.
would take
and
Wolverine
think,
on that one, but Deathstroke and Taskmaster, that's
Uh,
hard.
um,
I think
I go
Deathstroke
with
win that
Lobo.
one.
I would
Either way.
Lobo and
Lobo
Wolverine
and
fight,
Wolverine.
and Deathstroke in the Taskmaster fight.
Lobo has beat Wolverine, and Deathstroke. I don't know. That's a good one.
That's a good fight. but
Brainiac
Deathstroke
versus
come out.
MODOK. Brainiac all day.
Brainiac all day.
Yeah,
He'll take over
Brainiac,
MODOK.
Dum Dum, Buster Scientific.
Yeah, he'll take over MODOK circuit.
Hawkeye versus Green Arrow.
Green Arrow was first. You gotta give it to Green Arrow, bro. They're the same dude.
I
They're the
mean,
same dude.
they made Hawkeye so much more deadly, but if it's back in the day, it's Green Arrow. So if
Yeah,
it's
Green
current
Arrow
day
is-
is Hawkeye though.
They're the same
Yeah,
dude
like
to
Golden
me, bro.
Age, Golden Era. I would probably say
Perpetual.
I would say Green
Oh
Arrow.
yeah,
But
Perpetual all day.
modern right now, I think you got to give it to Hawkeye.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Joking aside, Brendan makes a good point. Even a great actor can be misused. Ben Affleck, Daredevil, Batman, Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, Deadpool, Chris Evans, Human Torch, Captain
Human Torch,
America.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would
Yeah.
be funny, bro? If they do it, if Evans comes back as Human Torch in the Multiverse of Madness for like a scene, I would die laughing, bro.
Honestly,
like, hey, ain't you Captain America?
I could see that happening. Yep.
I don't think they'll do it. It would be funny.
That would be
but I don't think
hilarious,
they want to do
bro.
that because I don't think they want to cheapen. I don't think Chris
Aren't you
Evans would
Captain
do it.
America?
Everybody.
Justice for
It
Coolio.
has Justice for Coolio. Hashtag Justice for Coolio. Come on, we gonna float that around.
Homework before next week. You motherfuckers watch the director's cut of Daredevil and watch the Coolio subplot and tell me that doesn't make the movie better. Tell me that doesn't make the movie better.
This is you say Coolio, bro.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna watch it.
Tell me it doesn't make the movie better, and tell me that immediately after you don't listen to Gangsta's Paradise. And then immediately after that, you don't listen to Weird Al's Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise. Yeah.
Yo, fuck you, man. Yo. Oh my God, I'm in tears, man.
That's what
Justice
I do.
for
I can't deal with him tonight, bro. This boy is off the rails, yeah. We're the most alive. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I know your ass is going to send me a message, bro. Did you watch that scene with Coolio?
Goddamn
right. Oh man, I'm done.
And then immediately after that, you're gonna listen to Gangsta's Paradise, and you're gonna be like Michelle Pfeiffer, and you're gonna go watch Batman Returns.
Yo,
That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be Daredevil, and then you're gonna listen to Gangsta's Paradise, then Amish Paradise, and then you're gonna be like, oh, but I still got the and then Batman Returns to get me your Michelle Pfeiffer fix.
Vision. Vision.
Oh yeah, Vision all day.
Vision with the square tornado.
It's a closer
he would
fight than a
hack
lot of
him.
people think, but probably Vision.
Gambit. Yeah, Gambit. Yeah.
Gambit. Yeah. Coolio, man. I just
Which
iteration of
versions
Ant-Man?
the characters are we talking about?
Scott Lang or Hank Pym?
Yeah.
If it's Hank Pym, he would kill the Atom.
If it's Scott Lang, that would be a
And which
tad bit
version of
difficult.
the Atom? I mean, I still take Hank Pym over them all.
I take Hank Pym and Scott
Hank
Lang because
Pym.
once they go subatomic, it's difficult. Adams, I don't know. We'll see. What is this? What's this? Vishanti versus Lords of Order.
Oh, Vishanti.
Yeah,
probably.
Vishanti, definitely.
Here you go. Batman versus Moon Knight.
I don't care what y'all say. Batman. I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
I would probably.
I'd probably go Batman, but I still love Moon Knight.
I'd go Batman, but that's close. And remember, as Moon Knight actually just referenced in his most recent issue, that
with the moon,
he kicked the
gets
shit out of
stronger.
the entire Avengers team by himself.
Yeah.
So
Kyle.
It's not
Batman.
a beatdown.
Kyle
It's
Rayner.
close.
Kyle Rayner.
Kyle Rayner.
Easily
Oh,
Kyle
yeah.
Rayner.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Constructs
Kyle
and
Rayner.
the simple fact that he is one of the most Kyle Rayner all day.
He's a comic artist, so he thinks like a comic guy when he's making those
Flash
constructs.
versus Quicksilver. Flash.
Flash all day.
Easily Flash.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily Flash. Free Coolio. Yeah, yo.
All right, here's a good one for you. Catwoman versus Echo.
That'd be a good
I
one,
take
but
Echo
I think
all
Echo
day
would.
on
I think Echo would take advantage of Catwoman. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because that would be Killmonger shows up as human.
Because Michael B. Jordan
Michael
did
B.
play.
Jordan, yeah.
Yes,
That would
exactly.
be funny
Yeah,
too.
he did.
Namor versus Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Namor.
I gotta go Namor, bro.
I don't know.
Yeah, name.
Look, we're not talking about Jason
Aquaman killed
Momoa.
Namor
okay?
with
Yeah,
a
not-
with a.
yeah.
We're
no,
not talking about Jason Momoa. We're talking about Aquaman in the
Yeah,
comics and Namor.
Aquaman is
kills
all over the
Namor
place.
with a
Aquaman is
kill
all over the
whale.
place. Namor is almost always deadly.
But he
But see,
killed him
here's
with
the
a
thing:
whale.
is you
in
got to,
Aquaman.
but you
Aquaman
got to
killed
keep
him.
in mind though, bro. There's been so many different iterations of Aquaman because he didn't start
So
out
many.
strong, bro.
Yeah,
He didn't
No, I know
start
that's what I
out
that.
mean.
as a
There's so
strong
many, but it's
character.
like,
Mhm.
but
Even
there's
his
no
most
weak. There's
badass
almost
doesn't
no
hold
weak.
up to Namor.
No, I
Yeah,
don't know about
there's-
that.
I think Namor has bigger feats. Namor.
we got
Nah,
another justice for
Aquaman, bro.
Coolio. Vandal Savage versus Celine. Oh,
Oh,
Savage, Vandal Savage.
we got Gangsta
That's tough.
Paradise. Coolio made Daredevil better. Never thought I'd hear that sentence.
That's on it. That's on the DVD cover. That's on the DVD cover.
Justice for Coolio. What is he? We got. Let me see.
You know what's gonna happen is all these
Coolio was
motherfuckers in the
framed.
chat are gonna go watch that movie. And
I'm gonna go
next
look
week
for
they're
it.
gonna
I
come
never
back
saw
and be
that
like,
part.
"God damn, man! Once again, you were right."
I'm gonna go look for it.
E.T. versus Mac and
Oh,
Me.
Mac and Me. Those Paul Rudd skits are
Oh.
legendary.
Mac and
Yeah,
me, fucking
Mac
those
and
Mac,
Me.
dude,
those
yeah.
Mac and Me
Mac and Me.
skits on
Oh,
with
Mac
Paul
And I
and
Rudd
love
on
E.T.,
Conan.
but
Dang.
Mac and Me, bro.
Hold up. E.T. versus Meathead, bro. You remember Meathead, bro?
Mhm.
Yeah,
E.T.
yeah.
E.T. all day. Wait a minute. Wolverine versus Horseman of Apocalypse.
The same
No,
one.
no, Wolverine, Horseman of Apocalypse versus Pitt.
Versus Pitt.
Oh,
Okay.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, Pitt's not doing shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Wolverine.
yeah.
Pitt
Wolverine,
never really
I think,
got
would
off.
destroy him with that apocalypse
Yeah.
power.
Ray Palmer versus Hank. Come on, Hank. Hank.
Yeah, come on,
Sorry,
Ray Palm.
Hank.
No, come on. Sorry, ain't happening.
What is the way Butt Naked's mind just connected that all together is amazing, bro. Bro, Star Lord versus Adam Strange.
The comic book Star Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, comic book Star
probably
Wars.
Adam
Yeah.
Adam Strange, yeah.
Conan versus Thundar.
Conan.
Loco Lou,
Conan.
man. Conan, bro.
Conan, bro. Thunder is
Lois Lane
garbage.
versus Mary Jane. Come on, Lois Lane.
Oh,
Yeah.
I go Mary Jane on that.
You
Nah.
go Mary Jane. Oh, Lois.
Lois
Lane.
Lane's the daughter
if
of
we're
a
talking about like also
colonel.
another good issue for people to check out recently
Green
is
Lantern.
Mary Jane and Black Cat
Green Lantern.
that they just did. Mary Jane's tougher nowadays than people give her credit for.
Lobo versus Taserface.
Taser face.
Lobo with his
Taser
face
face.
off. Lobo would trash that dude, bro.
Coolio versus Common. One.
Yo,
Oh man.
The only reason why I give that to Common is because in John Wick
He's
2,
answering it. He's
man,
legit
he goes
answering it.
toe to
Are
toe
you
with
saying
Keanu
that-
Reeves.
So
Otherwise,
hold
I'd
up.
go
You saying that comment would be Coolio by like some slightness?
Because Coolio just like go like this, and he'll just poke you in the eye with one of those with his hair, and you're blinded, and then he's got you.
Oh my God.
Then he calls in Michelle Pfeiffer. She comes
Oh,
around.
God.
She's sitting there backwards on a chair. She spins around and just fucking hits it over the head. Boom, you're done. That's her fatality. Like in Mortal Kombat, like Coolio, he just calls in Michelle Pfeiffer with a wooden chair. She fucks motherfuckers up. It's just smoke, right? It's just smoke in a blacked out room, and all you see is Coolio's face, and then Michelle Pfeiffer just comes at you with a fucking chair. You're done.
Oh my God. Stop.
Now,
Oh.
if Common can call in Keanu Reeves,
Oh my God.
then maybe we've got a good tag team going. Now it's a little more competitive.
Oh,
But otherwise, man,
damn.
that's a hard
can't
thing to
even-
beat.
It's time to go.
I can't.
It's time to go. I cannot with him tonight. Yeah. You
Yo.
are. I don't know where you
I
get
think
your energy
we've
from.
established one thing tonight. Brendan has a Coolio agenda.
He does. He does.
Ah, man.
Coolio
Would you
made the movie
describe
better.
my agenda as Coolio?
Yeah. That's your agenda tonight.
Yo.
Trying to push Coolio out.
Oh, man.
Mm-mm-mm.
Ah,
I can't, bro.
my eyes, man. Damn. Coolio,
can't
bro.
even
I never thought. You know what? You know what we did tonight? Brendan, you just literally made Coolio relevant again.
Yep.
You
It's
literally.
relevant, man.
I never thought that I would hear him make the point of Coolio. As much as he break down movies and TV shows,
But you know
I
what?
never thought I would hear him
But
say
you
that
know
tonight.
what? The motherfuckers is gonna go back and
They
seriously
gonna
watch
watch
the
it. I'm
shit.
gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna look for it.
Wait, hold on,
That
hold
one
on.
scene, I'm gonna watch it.
I take butt naked over 1/6. Yeah, man.
Oh man.
199 super chat. You got a super chat, bro. I take butt naked over 1/6 scale man, bro. Wow.
I can't with y'all tonight.
I just make him laugh until he falls over, and I
Yeah.
get
He
done.
is pushing the Coolio.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what he's doing.
Justice for Coolio.
Are y'all really gonna play this?
He's playing it. He's playing it.
Just saying.
Listen, it's 2 hours and 19 minutes in, man. Like, we had such a good time tonight. Like, literally, Coolio.
Oh.
That's literally what I was doing. I was queuing it up, and I was like, "Wait, should I play this, or would I get tagged?"
If you only play like
Over
6
a
seconds
joke.
of it, it
You
doesn't.
play a
Yeah,
couple seconds
so I
of
was
it.
like,
It's
I should play this, but I'm not trying to get it flagged over a joke.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, nah. We just made Coolio relevant. He might be watching this shit and be like, somebody say my name.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, Vinny, what you got? Come on,
I can't even think straight right now.
he just took it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Um.
leave it to fucking Brendan, bro. Leave it to
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Like I said, I have a couple Star Wars pieces I'm finishing up. Now I'm gonna work on a Coolio piece. It's like, nah. Aside from that, just finishing up reading, catching up on Justice League and
Brendan,
some other things, and
man.
just yeah, man. Just go ahead. Next person, man. I can't even think.
Because he just fucked us up with fucking Coolio, man. Like, all right, Brendan, bro, what you got going on, man?
No, right now, I'm just doing, doing some client work and catching up on books, and yeah, was Wednesday. We got another episode of Boba, so we'll see what happens there. There you go. We'll see what happens. But I've got a couple of recommendations for people if they're looking for some good stuff. These are mostly like one shots, so easy, just quick stuff to get into and really enjoy that you don't need a ton of backstory for. But the X-Force kill shot that Rob Liefeld just came back and wrote with all the different permutations of X-Force from different times, that's awesome. So check that out.
Hold on, put that up again.
There's the Death of Doctor Strange tie-in. I mean, the whole event has been really good, but this Blade tie-in is really, really cool. So cool art. Definitely check that one out. And then if you haven't, they're on issue 4 now, I think, of the 5-part miniseries of Phoenix Song Echo. That is phenomenal. So definitely check that one out.
That artwork is incredible.
And then the Death of Doctor Strange tie-in, X-Men and Black Knight, is really, really cool. So that's definitely one that's worth checking out. And then last one, and this one is, I think, the best tie-in that they've done so far with Devil's Reign, and that's the Winter Soldier one. And you see the Kingpin moving over him right there. This is a showdown. This man is amazing right here. And if you're a fan of Winter Soldier, this book right here sets the stage for everything that we're going to get from the Winter Soldier for like the next year at least. It lays out the path that they're going with that character in the books, and it's going to be awesome. So definitely check that out.
Okay, Benny, are you composed?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. He said, yeah.
I needed a minute. I apologize. I needed a minute.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's basically it though, man. I'm just catching up on reading, and I have, like I said, I have a new Star Wars piece. I'm gonna probably throw up on IG this week, and I'll have it ready by Uncivilized Scoundrels, which you can catch me on Thursday on Leo's Star Wars show. I'm looking forward to that because Book of Boba Fett is rolling now, so we'll see where that goes, and looking forward to talking Boba Fett and Mando and all that good stuff with you guys. So I'll have a new piece for that show then, and working on some other pieces that hopefully I'll throw on up here soon. So a lot of reading and just catching up on stuff, man. For sure.
Definitely. And if you haven't already, man, follow Vincent Dunn Art. Great. Yes, he actually has his link to his store up on his page, so definitely
Appreciate
check that out. Jedi Pimp. Yeah, who changed your name, bro?
I don't know who did. I don't know who did, man. I can't even think right now, bro. The whole Coolio Daredevil thing has really got me.
Yo, that
off.
dad, bro. Coolio just he just made him relevant, bro. He made Coolio.
He brought him back.
He literally brought Coolio back. Now I
Yeah.
bet you everybody's gonna go back and
They're gonna
listen
look it
to
up.
Gangster Paradise.
Mm-hmm. This I had my little recommendation, a little quick one.
Okay.
I'll be a few seconds, but
Yeah.
this Darth Vader book right here, bro,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
is amazing. It's about he's what, I think he's about 2 years after Revenge of the Sith. He's still fighting with himself, with his demons about, what he did with the Jedi, and it's about them trying to take hold of Mon Cala. They killed the king, Lee Char, and he's having flashbacks of the Clone Wars when they went there before. It's a really good book, man, about Vader not trusting Tarkin, and he still doesn't trust the Emperor fully. The Emperor's been torturing this cat for the last 2 years, bro. I don't know how or why he stayed loyal to the Emperor, but this is a dope read. I like it. I have the feeling I'm almost done. I think like one more chapter left in this book to finish up, but the way they trash Mon Cala and Lee Char is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love how much the comics and the books explore how the Emperor really did want to get rid of Vader and just pick a new kid for his apprentice. Like, he really would have got rid of Vader and kept Luke.
I cannot deal with this dude, bro.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, knowing that the Emperor really wasn't really feeling him after a while because he kept worrying about. I can't even talk.
Yeah, Coolio's gonna wake up tomorrow and ask his agent why he's trending.
Why am I trending now?
Mark 7 said Coolio Spotify number is about to skyrocket after this.
Oh my god, yo. This dude is
Bro.
I can't, bro.
Ashley, real quick, $2.99 super chat.
Coolio versus The Rock.
Yo, come on.
I at one point I would have said Rock, but after tonight, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Coolio's just gonna pull the hair out and just fucking stab him in the eyes, man.
When he got left, he's balling now.
Coolio Gangsta's Paradise versus Vanilla Ice's Ninja Rap.
I mean, one-on-one, it's Coolio. But if Vanilla Ice has the turtles with
the turtles are
then that's a different
changers.
Story.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy versus Man Thing.
Oh man, no, Ivy would win. Ivy would win.
Man, wait a minute. Yo, anyway, if you haven't already, follow Jedi Kid, aka Jedi Pimp, on Instagram.
Boy,
because,
it's funny, bro.
He be putting up those photos and looking all super smooth. You know
I can't. Brendan's got me wanting to watch Daredevil right now.
$2.99, $4.99.
Don't watch Elektra though. Don't.
There's nothing redeemable
by
about
Square
that.
Balls. Coolio versus the Comb.
Nothing redeemable about it.
Word, the Comb would win.
Yo,
the Comb would win. What Comb has defeated Coolio? They haven't made a Comb that has defeated Coolio yet.
The Comb from Spaceballs, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
We ain't found shit.
Comb the area.
Only one man dares to give me
That
the raspberry.
We ain't found shit.
My eyes gonna be swollen shit in the morning, man. Y'all motherfuckers, man. These guys, bro. These
I'm about to go to bed.
Again,
I
can't believe we got that Coolio. That's dope. That's dope, though. Good segue, bro.
He about to get a lot of attention.
Like, I'm telling you, he's gonna get hits, and he owes you some money for that one, bro. If you haven't already followed, subscribed, and What's His Scale Man YouTube channel, please do so. Great content. We try to bring it to you over here, man. Even the Coolio talk is always welcome.
Who'd have thought that's Black History Month would jump off with? Coolio.
Well, Coolio, that's what's up, though.
An integral part of Black history.
Coolio. Hey, Yeah.
Coolio race theory. That's what they're trying to hold back from kids in school. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Coolio race. Yeah, literally. So I'm gonna go ahead and because we have to do this. We can't go without basically knowing. I'm gonna go ahead and address the chat real quick. As always, because
Charlie the Unicorn's got a pretty good point though. Lael, just make sure if you're working with any clients tomorrow that subliminally you don't actually start like putting some Coolio beats into their stuff.
Yeah,
you might get dinged for that later. You got to make sure.
I know.
Go in with a fresh, clean mind.
I know. Can't do Coolio, man. Definitely can't have no Coolio.
We're gonna see Lael come on next week, and his hair is gonna be done like Coolio. You know, his beard.
I don't even
hair
got no
like
damn
Coolio's
hair,
head.
man. I wish I did, man. This stuff.
Your beard hair. Your beard's gonna be done like Coolio's head.
Twisted. Okay. I got you.
Toya love that.
The Ben Cave, thank you for coming through. Ben Thomas, Bob Dylan, thank you for coming through. Justin McFly, Loco Lou. Let me see here. Maz's Toy Box, Charlie the Unicorn, MWJ. Thank you for basically being here, man. Alf versus Goose. Captain Marvel's Goose. That's funny. Luminara, thank you for coming through, and you really got the ball rolling on that because now everybody's talking about it. So thank you. Let's see here. Mark 7. That's my favorite part of Spaceballs. Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
6 Scale Mafia, thank you for coming through. Single songwriter, Yuli's second kid, thank you for basically being here. One Punch Man, we'll see here. Bloodsport, Trimble Dust. Who we got? Let's see here. Who haven't I mentioned yet? I already said Justin McFly, Bloodsport, Charlie the Unicorn, Eric Grant. Thank you for basically being here. Doc Smizzle in the building. SpongeBob Square Balls in the building. Let's see who else we got. Latoya T. Baby, thank you for coming through as always, supporting your man. Amber May, thank you for coming through.
What up, Amber?
Let's see here. Amber, what's up? Let's see here. KG the Collector, thank you for coming through. Ashley Chase. Let's see here. Dale A, thank you for coming through. Kate Carter, thank you for coming through. Fatality bonus. It's funny. Philip the Fool, thank you for being here. Who else we got? Let's see here. Hunter Luis, thank you for being here. Jesus Gutierrez, thank you for coming. As always. DJ Ed, my guy, thank you for being here. Let's see who else we got. We got a couple of people, man, that I missed. If I missed y'all, I am so sorry. I'm trying to get through as much as I can. We got Yuli, we got MJ, we got Bob Dylan I mentioned. Oh, the Ben Cave. Ron Onsing, thank you for basically being here as always. The Russian Bot, we always got to give you some respect for wasting everybody's time. Let's see here.
There you go. There you go.
Put Coolio up in that joint.
Yo, boys.
Oh, man. You know what? Everybody in here, man, thank you for coming. It's been a great night. Till next week, we will continue the conversation during Black History Month. We will actually start talking about some characters.
Next week is actually all about Coolio, the entire show.
All about Coolio. The entire show is going to be all about Coolio, says this guy, man.
Coolio History Month. Stay tuned.
Coolio History Month.
It's all going to be about how Coolio would be as different cast as different characters throughout the MCU
Green Lantern.
and DCU.
Yeah.
Make mine Coolio.
Coolio as Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coolio as Miles
Coolio as
Morales.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
Detective Coolio Comics.
Yep.
Somebody says Snyder cut versus DD cut. That's funny.
We need the Coolio cut.
Coolio cut. Free
Coolio.
Coolio.
Is Thanos. Yep.
Coolio is fuck is Coolio? Stop. You know what? Anyway, everybody, thank you for basically being here. It's been a lovely night.
Coolio is Black Panther.
Coolio is black.
There we go.
To Coolio.
To Coolio.
Oh my God.
To Coolio. To Coolio.
We are reviving this motherfucker's career. Right
Oh man, recast T'Challa as Coolio, Mark 7, how to make Coolio famous. Tune in next week.
Oh my God.
Yo, single songwriter, that's crazy. We gonna try because Coolio's bound to come up next week. It's already a thing. It's already a thing. Brendan's already done it.
T'Chalio.
It's Charlio. That's funny. Anyway, everybody, thank you for being here. It's been a great night. Till next week, man. We love you guys as always. Stay geek, stay fly. Comics is the way. Come on, man. Read. We gave you some material to dive through. Come back next week. Same discussion, same time with this same group of individuals, man. We love y'all. Till next week.
Living a gangster's paradise.
Living
That's it. That's it.
You know what? I'm done. See y'all next week, man. We love y'all.
Peace.